All right. Hello, knockouts. Tonya TKO here. And let's get this party started, right? Let's get this party started quickly, right? Okay, so listen, everybody. We're going live. Actually, we're live right now, and we're going to be talking about Black women hitting a wall and then wanting nice guys. So we're going to be opening up the phone line. So I'm going to give the intro. I'm going to give the intro while I'm putting on my eyebrows and everything. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. When you come in, make sure that you say hello because we are live right now. Hey, everybody. Hey, hey, hey. If you're from my mailing list and you just got the notification, put up the number 1. I want to see who's here from the mailing list. Put up the number 1. Hey, welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking about hitting the wall and then wanting nice guys. So we're going to open up the phone line for men first. Okay, so let's see who's here from the list. We got Dominique, we got PJ, we got I Am Serene. Oh, Serena's hardcore. She's on everything. We got Nikki Phillips, we got Sage, we got Harajuku Barbie. All right, okay. Somebody said they're tired of this nice guy BS. So listen, this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about this trope. I can't see my makeup for some reason. Let's see. Okay, I can see it better that way. All right, we're going to be talking about this trope, right? Because somebody wrote to me the other day, and they were like, "Oh, Tonya, you've hit the wall. Now you want to settle down. Now that you are all," whatever they said to me. I didn't know because they was acting foolish and acting like they didn't want to be on my channel. So, you know, when somebody don't want to be on my channel, I help them out by getting them the heck off of my channel. Oh, okay. So Serena's in the UK. So it's an easier time. But no, some of the times we're on here late, which means you're up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, everybody, welcome, welcome in, welcome in. Just give me a few moments to just get my eyebrows on. As you see, I'm pumped up today. So, okay, so we have a person that knows what the wall is. So Tony is saying the wall is undefeated. So I'm so glad that Tony is on because Tony can help us understand what the wall is because I don't know what the wall is. I've seen people mention this wall before, but I would love to be able to get greater context from people who believe in this wall, especially people who believe in this wall for Black women. I feel like this is not matching my color, but it'll blend in. It'll blend. It'll blend. All right. I wake up at 5 a.m. and you're on, and I'm like, yes. I know, especially during these pandemic times, right? I'm going to be going for a long drive today. So I was like, you know what, before I go on this drive, let me go on ahead and go live. Am I in New York City? I am not in New York City at the moment. I'm not in New York City at the moment. Look at that. Okay, now we bringing down the brightness. Okay, so listen, I want somebody to explain to me what this wall is so that I can understand what the wall is. And then I want to know if this really even applies to Black women. I've heard that there are Black women out there who like bad boys, and I can understand why in certain areas, because you all remember when I was living in Harlem and I was having those issues with my roommate, all of a sudden I was attracted to big men with muscles and tattoos. You know, do you all remember that? Those of you who were here back in the days? All right, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. I'm just gonna, okay. So I need somebody to explain to me what the wall is. How many men do we have on the line right now? So listen, men, if you have friends, listen, if you're male and you have friends that know what this wall is and believe in this wall and they have stuff that they want to say, I invite you to come out and tell your friends to come over to the broadcast. Send them a text real quick and send them a link to the broadcast because I want to hear from people. They say it starts from late 20s, early 30s, where women start to go down in looks and therefore in their mind in value. You know, I just have started hearing about this wall as well. Okay, so when you start to go down in looks, it's basically the peak of your physical attractiveness. Okay, so you're saying when a woman hits her peak of physical attractiveness, so when she hits the peak or when she starts to the of the. You know what? When you get ready to call in, the telephone number is inside of the description. I'm going to open that up in just a moment. So just get your thoughts together, because I don't want people in and they're like, oh, what is the topic? What is the topic? You know what I'm saying? So make sure that when you come onto these phone lines, that you are ready, Freddy. All right? All right, so I'm just allowing everyone to come in as I continue to get ready. I wasn't planning on getting ready on going live until the top of the hour. And so now we're crossing the top of the hour. And I just sent up a message to the people on the mailing list. So the people should be coming over. Hello, Maddie. Yes, so Rocky says we need someone to call in and elaborate exactly. Because you know what? I see men in these groups, they're so angry at women. So they're very angry at, oops, Lord of mercy. They're very angry at women for not having chosen them in their 20s, right? And then so now they are, whatever stage they are in their life, and they're like, ha ha, that's good for you. Look at you now. You've hit a wall. I don't want you, right? But I want to talk to live people about this. I really. So there's no need to try to call right now, because as you see, I'm putting on my makeup. When you call in, I want to be able to listen to everything that you're saying. So as soon as I finish getting my makeup together, I'm going to open up the phone lines. That looks good, right? It's not as neat as it could be, because in order to make it neat, you got to do the concealer and all of that. And I'm very minimal with the makeup. I'm very minimal with the makeup, and so that's cool. Okay. And so VB is saying they use that wall nonsense to make themselves feel better. So you're saying that there is no wall, that the wall idea is nonsensical. Listen, if you're a male, if you're a person with XY chromosome, born with a penis and identify as male, right? And I want to see who's on here. Put up the number 2. If you fit that criteria, put up the number 2. I want to see how many men we have on this broadcast. Because when I open it up, we're opening it up for men first, right? I'm sorry I have to go into that vivid description, because there's a lot going on out there in terms of the difference between sex and gender. So you could be born with a penis. Okay, so we got Keith in the house. We got Al Rel. I don't know if that's Al Rel or All Rel. We got Tony R. Okay, so we got at least 3 men in the house. Come on, keep putting those 2s up. I want to see who we got in the house. Because we're going live a little bit earlier than we typically do. So we're going to have different people on than we typically have on. Because, my TKO After Dark shows come out in the middle of the night. All Rel. Okay. Okay, people, I don't know, the English language is strange. How 2 L's will make that all instead of Al. Because, the double letters gives the soft vowel. The single letter gives the hard vowel. Okay. All right, so as you see, I'm almost done with my makeup, so the phone lines are about to open. So I really want to hear, but I'm going to smoke it up today. I'm going to smoke the eyes. I'm going to smoke the eyes. You know how I'm going to do it. All right, so if you're just now coming in, come on in and say hello, because we are going to be talking about this wall. We're going to be talking about how it affects Black women and Black men in dating. So listen, I want to do a survey for the women. Hey, what's going on, Cookie Confidant? I want to do a survey for the women. Black women, I want you to tell me so we're going to do yes is 3, no is 4, okay? So if you used to like bad boys when you were younger, put up a 3. And then as you got older, if you made the switch and was like, you know what, I'm going to like nice guys now, I want you to put up the number 4. So if you used to like nice guys, I'm sorry. If you used to, see, this is why I like to concentrate on what I'm saying. Scratch that. We're going to do the survey again. If you used to like nice guys when you were, if you used to like bad boys when you were young, put up the number 3. If you never liked bad boys, put up the number 4. This is only for black women. I know that there are women of other races who watch my show, but we're going to only be asking this particular survey of black women, right? So it's going to be 3 if you never liked bad boys. So there are some girls in here who used to like bad boys. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Wow, okay. All right, so, wow, really? You know what? I'm from the ghetto. I have never liked bad boys. I've never liked bad boys. So when people say that, I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis? Okay. All right. So it looks like we are just about done. I'm going to add a little dark around the outside. And then we're going to jump on the lines because I want to hear from you all. Shawnee saying I get that from you. What did you get from me? Not the bad boy thing, because I missed if you said anything before that. Okay. There we go. Juicy berry lips. That's what I'm talking about, girl. Don't hurt them. Don't. Please, Tonya, don't hurt them. Okay. Okay, so let's get this party started. All right. So let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. All right, so phone lines are going to be open. It's going to be 323-488-3149. And for those of you who are my platinum members, you have a special phone number that you use to get to the top of the list. All right? So, all right. Phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. Running from. Let me turn this off because this is going to get my video demonetized. Come on. This is what the HE-double-hockey-6. It's like, don't do that. Don't do that. This is going to, come on now. I'm going to have to cut that part out. It's like, what are you doing? It's like these apps just take over and they just start doing whatever they want. Well, that's a perfect theme song for tonight, right? The Desperado. The Desperado. Living in that. Oh, Monte Carlo. Man as hot as hollow. Take it easy. Okay. So listen. Okay, so let's get this party started. Phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. I want to hear from XY chromosome persons who identify as male and who know what this wall is, because I want someone to help us understand so that we can at least start off on that foot and be like, help us understand what the wall is, etc. So all of those men who put up the twos, come on, we're waiting for you to call. Phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. Oh, somebody said I look so beautiful. Oh, you think so? Thank you. Thank you. You know what? I could put on a little mascara. Why not? You know. Keep it popping. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I could get some mascara on. Listen, everybody has their own definition of what a bad boy is, I suppose. All right, phone lines are open. Okay. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hi, Tonya. My name is the Nurse and Nerd.
I'm looking for XY chromosome persons, people with penises who identify as male, to call in first. All right, so just hold whatever thought you have, and then we're going to pick you up after. Just make sure that you get a chance to call back in, okay?
Okay.
All right, then, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so listen, I have to get my... So the phone lines are open for men. I'm going to connect the sound. So listen, I want to hear from men first and foremost. That's who I want to hear from. I want to hear from men. Phone lines are open. So we're saving it for men to call in first. So let's look. If there's all of those men who put up the twos and had all that stuff to say in the comments, come on in. This is now your chance to talk. Don't pretend like we don't give you opportunity to talk. You know what I mean? Don't act like we don't give you the floor, give you space to communicate and speak your mind. You know what I'm saying? So this is your opportunity. Because basically the reason why I'm doing this video, right, is because, listen, ladies who are in the comments, if you see men who are in the comments, start pressuring them to call in. Because the phone lines are open for XY chromosome persons. I want somebody to explain to me what this wall is, because they say the wall is undefeated, right? So I want to hear what the wall is. And ladies, so listen, there were a lot of ladies who wrote that they used to like bad boys when they were young. I want to know what changed. What made you stop liking bad boys? And then somebody asked, what is a bad boy? And everybody has their own definition of what a bad boy is. So I want to hear. So this is how it's going to be. So Bobby, Mike, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. I'm like the girl who cares what you like. Okay, so what's going on? You see, they have so much to say inside the comments, but now the phone lines are wide open. The highways of information are wide open, and they're not calling in. So because I'm curious, I really want to know. And so someone is saying, I need to know what this wall is before I call in. The men know what this wall is. So Al is saying, I called and it won't let me through. When did you call? You try again, because you see the phone lines are open. We're just waiting. We're waiting. Phone lines are open, wide open. So come on, Al, we're waiting for you. Redeem your brothers who are out there afraid to call. Because I'm curious. I'm curious. I want to know. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Oh. This is, my thing is going crazy. Oh, I see what's happening. I see what's happening. Something has gone wrong. All right. You know what? I see. It was my bad. I didn't have the thing. I didn't have it programmed right. So I need you to call back in, please, because it wasn't programmed right. So it was coming through the computer instead of through the system. I'm sorry. That was my bad. So you were right. It wasn't programmed right. So I just fixed this. So please, phone lines are open. Al, we're waiting for you to call in. So someone is saying, I didn't call. We didn't take a wall survey. We're asking the question now about the wall. So let's see.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Who is this?
This is Terrell. I'm the RL guy on YouTube right now.
Okay.
How you doing, Miss Patty?
What you call me, Miss Patty?
Miss Tanya.
Oh, okay. Well, hi, Al. So which one do you want me to call? You want me to call you Tyreek or you want me to call you Al? Or all?
No, it's not Al. That's just like the YouTube name my kids picked for me. My Terrell.
Okay, so your name is Terrell. Okay. So that's why it says all rel.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
okay, so talk to us. What is this wall?
Well, I was the one in the comments, and I'm not sure about exactly what the wall was either. I thought you were trying to kind of describe something, basically saying like it's supposed to be where a woman hits the wall. I thought that's what you were trying to describe. Is that what you were saying?
I don't know what the wall is, and when I was putting on my makeup, I spent a long amount of time saying, please get your thoughts together so you can call in and explain what the wall is.
Yes, ma'am. No, that's why I said I was going to wait until we actually figured out exactly what the wall was. And because you were saying nobody wanted to call in, I'm like, I don't know, I'm here. I'm always on the show. I'm here though. And once you guys figure out exactly what the wall is, because I'm 35 and I'm married, and I'm not sure what the wall is. I'm from the street, so I don't know what the wall is. That's what I'm saying. I wanted to kind of debate that with whoever was about to lie about it, because I ain't never heard of it.
Okay. Well, you know what? Thank you so much. I'm going to let you jump off the line and we're going to take the next caller because I really want to speak to someone who does know what it is and who can explain it to us. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm listening. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, phone lines are open. Phone lines, phone lines are open. And so we're taking male callers first because we want to be able to get a man's point of view on what this wall is. And yeah, so, all right. Hello.
Hello, Miss. How you doing, Miss Pine?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. What's your name?
My name is Keith.
Hi, Keith. Well, welcome. You're live on the air. So, do you know what this wall is? Can you explain it to us?
The wall is supposed to represent life because I haven't learned about it. I learned about the wall. Let's see, I'm 38 now. I didn't learn about this till like 2 years ago because some of the guys I was hanging out with, he was talking about a sister that was walking around. I wasn't in the area. I was in Kansas at the time. And he said, yeah, she was like, she hit the wall. I'm like, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking like, what did you say? Because I never heard of it because I'm from Alabama and we don't talk like that.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, and you're very respectful when you don't say disrespectful like that because the other definition for it would be she had her sunset. Okay? You don't talk like that about women. At first, I was looking like, what are you talking about? He's like, bro, she just hit the wall. And I'm like, what is hitting the wall? And he explained to me like she wore herself down or she just at her limit. And I'm like, men hit the wall, then don't men hit the wall? He said, well, yeah, if you put yourself out there. So the wall is life. And if you reach your limit in life and you worn yourself down, that's what they're talking about hitting the wall. Because you just reached your limit at a certain time, which you shouldn't.
Your limit of what?
Go ahead.
Your limit of what? I'm curious.
Reach your limit of how far you go with your look, how you treat yourself is basically subjective. How you put yourself out there. And I talked to other guys, I didn't know what it was. And I learned this about like a year ago because I'm thinking like I'm almost 40 and I'm hearing this, I'm looking like, what? And so only people who use that are men who are somewhat bitter or who hit the wall themselves. Basically, they reach the limit there and they're about to go downhill. That's what basically the definition is.
Okay.
But I was brought up, you don't disrespect somebody like that. Okay? If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. And, my uncles now raised us, you never disrespect a woman. The same woman you say hits the wall, that's the one that's got to come up and keep you from hitting the wall. So when you hear people say that, you have to be very careful with what they're saying behind it.
Okay, got
So
you,
if you understand.
Okay.
So if you understand what I'm saying, when you brought up a certain way, only people who use those definitions are usually people who are not happy for themselves.
Okay.
I'm never going to say a woman hit the wall.
Okay.
Because men hit the wall.
Okay,
men
well,
hit the wall 20 years before anybody else.
Okay. Well, you know what? Thank you for calling in and giving us that perspective. We appreciate that. Okay?
My pleasure.
All right. Okay, so now we have more information about what this wall is. Okay. So let's jump to the next caller and see if we could get more insight, and then after that we'll open the phone lines up to women because I'm really curious about what the wall is and women and so somebody said like Jane Fonda now wanting Martha Gaye. Marvin Gaye is dead. I don't think she could really want him, but and then also there were probably a lot of things involved in whatever race relations existed in their time because Marvin Gaye died in the late 70s, early 80s, and so there were a lot of racial things going on then that I'm sure added to the
Hello.
situation. Hi,
Hi.
you're a woman.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm sorry. The phone lines were open for men, so I'm sorry. So we'll take your call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm a woman. Yes, sorry, Tonya.
Okay. So we're going to take one more male phone call, and we're going to take one more male phone call, and then we're going to open it up for everybody. Okay. Okay. So Toni Braxton started dating Birdman and Sanaa French Montana. But you know what the thing about it is? We don't know these people behind the scenes. You know what I mean? We don't know what type of connection they may have. You know, Toni Braxton, first of all, Toni Braxton is freaking beautiful. Who believes Toni Braxton has hit a wall? She is gorgeous. And she grew up in a church lifestyle, very sheltered. And we don't know what her internal driving forces are or what type of match she makes for whomever. So her wanting Birdman, I don't know French Montana, you know, it's not a street term. Hitting the wall is not a street term. It is actually something that comes from the men's rights movement, from the pickup artist community. And there's this thing they say, the wall is undefeated. And it talks about how, what I gather is, you know, just hearsay. On the Amur Media, I don't know what that is. So Jane Fonda is saying she wants Marvin Gaye. It's a little late for that, my dear, unless she's going to conjure up the ghost of Marvin Gaye and start dancing to what Let's Get It On. You know, I don't really know how else that is going to work. All right, so one more man to call in and discuss what this wall is. Come on. It's like, you know what? This is frustrating. This is very frustrating because then when the video goes up, you'll see all of these men in the comments writing all of these comments. Oh, the wall. But then when it was time for them to call in, they didn't have the testicular matter and the testicular fortitude to be able to gather all of their pecans together to come onto the phone line live and discuss this. You know what I mean? This is very frustrating. Okay. All right, let's see. Somebody said their mother had a crush on Paul Newman. Look.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hi, what's up? This is Tony.
Oh, hi, wonderful.
I'm sorry about that. That was my daughter. Hey, hi, Tony. How are you?
Okay. Hi. So you got babies in tow, female ones at that. Wonderful, Tony. So glad to have you on the line. So talk to us about this wall, please. What is the wall?
Yeah, like, I just found out about it about 2 years ago myself, and I'm about to hit 40 in a few months. So, but basically, it's another way of saying somebody has let themselves go.
Okay.
And a lot of guys, kind of use that as, they weaponize it, and they'll see a woman who may be attractive, but you can kind of look at her and tell that she used to be better looking when she was younger, so they kind of weaponized it and said, she hit the wall.
Oh, okay. So it's just basically attractiveness.
Yeah, your attractiveness, your vitality, it's a point where you reach where, and it can happen to men too, it can happen to the fellas too, but it's the point where you're at your best all around.
But that sounds like the peak. So, so it can't be the peak. It has to be after the peak, on the way down after the peak. Okay. So basically,
right.
so it
after
has,
the peak.
So
after the peak. You're right.
Is it about weight? Is it about age? Is it about fertility? What is it about?
Mainly for guys, just being transparent. It's about looks. It's about all of that. If you gain a little weight, then they can use, they can weaponize it and say, I bet you were hotter back when you were in college. That was probably when you were at your best. So you probably hit the wall somewhere in between there because now you're not, you're not your best. So,
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
so that means that now women then become desperate and then they're like, oh, well, I have to take anything because now I have a little bit more weight or whatnot.
I mean, some guys, yeah. Yeah, they try to use that to justify it. You
To
lower
just,
your standards because you're, you're on this side of the wall, so your standards shouldn't be as high. Kind of bull crap, but it is what it is.
okay, I think I understand. So are they saying that because the woman hit the wall that now she should want them? So they're like, on her way down, she should want, wait, what? Help me, so wait, while she's on her way down, she should want them? Is that what they're saying?
Some guys, it's usually it's not all guys, but
So no,
it
but I'm
is a
just trying to
certain type of guy.
understand because,
It is a certain type of guy who thinks that way. And so I've been watching these YouTube shows here and there, and they have that same kind of mentality, like, how dare you have these high standards when you're on this side of the wall, So it's
okay, so basically they're saying, while you're on your way down, you should like me because I'm not the best. So now that you're desperate, you should take me. Wait, that doesn't sound like a compliment for the man. That doesn't sound like a compliment for him. That sounds like he's yesterday's bread. And now that the bakery is closing, that you're like, oh well, customer, you should take yesterday's bread. This doesn't sound good. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of. At least that's my interpretation of it. I mean, that's kind of how I
Okay.
understand it. But so.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate you calling in. So now that we have gotten the male point of view, give your daughter a hug for me. Give her a kiss and just pray that by the time she gets older, that there's more pickings out here because they slim now. I hope they get better when she's big.
Yeah, I pray for her all the time. Real talk. I mean, she's 4 now, but just looking at the way things are,
yeah,
it's just it does make you kind of nervous. I'm in New York, so things are a little different. I'm from the South, but I'm in New York, so I do have that in the back of my mind. Like, man, I just. Whew.
Yeah, like
I got it.
What's going to be available 14, 15, 16 years from now? Because I don't know what's going on out there. So you're married.
I am.
How long have you been married?
6 years, almost 6 years at the end of the month.
Okay, and how old are you?
How old am I? I'm 39.
So you got married at 33. How old was your wife when you married her?
32.
Oh, so you all were about the same age.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And all right. Is your wife light complected, medium complected, dark skin, or a different race?
No, she black. I mean, we're same complexion. We're brown skinned. I'm like in between. I'm not light skinned, but I'm not dark.
Okay.
I am who I am.
All right. You know what? Because I heard a theory, and I want to test this theory and see how true this theory is. Because when I started looking around at the theory, it was frightening. So go on and jump back into the comments, and we'll talk. Okay. Thank you.
All right. No doubt. You have a good day.
You too. Bye bye. Okay. So I hope everybody understands then. So I pretty much got a sense of what this wall is. So the wall is when you've reached your peak, and for different women that could be different ages, et cetera, et cetera.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Okay, so you're female, obviously.
Yeah. Hi, Tonya. Great show. Love this subject. Actually, at first, when I first started hearing about hitting the wall, I've only heard about it within the Black sector.
Okay.
No other race is talking about their women in this type of way. So at first it seemed like it was interesting. It sounded as though these were pinpoint ideas where they'll say, okay, well, this is what will get you more applicable to be married. You gotta be a certain way, just have a better attitude, just not be a city girl. At first it's like, okay, it's cool. But now when you look and you hear more of the videos that are going out as far as high value, hit the wall, and this, all it is a bunch of guys that are honestly losers, because if you hear them on the phone, one guy is like 325 pounds, and he's talking about, such and such hit the wall, Serena Williams. Sir, you're massive. Like, you're morbidly obese. How are you going to tell somebody else that they hit the wall? What it's now turned into is that these group of guys that no one wants, and they're upset that black women at the bottom of the barrel still don't want them. So it's now turned into, ha ha, 99. It's like they're children.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
It's not like we're having conversations
what's
where...
your name?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Tonya?
Your name?
The Nurse and the Nerd.
Okay, Vanessa the Nerd. Okay. So you feel it's just they don't have the
Yes. Yes, because at first I thought we were all having conversations with one another.
Okay.
You know, you have this sector of YouTube, everyone's black, everyone's in different financial economics or different type of, barriers in life. It's like an open conversation dialect. Mm-hmm. But really and truly, it's not. All it is pretty much, coherently put it together is just they're making fun of black women because they're not talking about any other women.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Because now, there's another person that just made a video about Andrew Gillum's wife. He's saying she hit the wall. I'm confused. This woman, very well educated, she makes her own money, has her own career, she's married, she's not doing any city girl stuff, but y'all saying this woman hit the wall. Okay, so which one is it?
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's just pretty much an insult.
That's all it is.
Okay.
An insult to black women. That's it. An insult
to bring women down to size. So it's
not just women, it's black women. Because they don't say any other women hit the wall.
Well, you know what? I was on a Tommy Lauren video where Tommy Lauren were calling men trash. And they were saying that she hit the wall. So there were a lot of white men. Because, the men's rights movement is primarily white men. These are the ones that are going out there picking up the guns and killing people because they can't get dates. So, so I don't know whether or not the sections that you've been in have only been sections for black people, but I've heard white men using this as well. So...
Okay, that's true. That's definitely true. But as far as Tommy Lauren is concerned, she's kind of a punching bag that everybody pretty much hates. It's like Candace Owens for us. Everybody hates him.
Well, Tommy Lauren is problematic. She's...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
She's problematic. Definitely. So I feel no empathy for her. You know what I mean? I feel human empathy for her, but I don't feel any sympathy for her. All right, so listen, Vanessa the Nerd, I'm gonna let you. You know what? As a matter of fact, since I have a uterus holder on the line, you're a nerd, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind giving me your age range? Are you 20s, 30s, 40s?
Oh yes. I'm 28.
Okay. So, do you want to be married and settle down?
I am. I'm actually married to a black man. Fine at that. Lord have mercy. Fine.
Okay, so you're married to a black man. How long have you been married?
We've been married like 3 years now.
Okay, what is it that made you decide to get married?
It's pretty much my mom and my dad. I've grown up in marriage households, and I just knew not to bring a child into the world unless I was married. And he and I met in college and just continued on and got our careers and got married.
Okay, are you light complected, medium complected, dark complected?
I'm dark. I'm dark.
You're dark. Okay. And your husband light, medium, dark?
He's actually light skinned, yeah.
Okay. Because I've heard this theory. I'm going to share my theory in a little bit, but I just wanted to get your standpoint. So listen, do women miss the window if they don't get married right after college? Were you pregnant when you got married?
Oh, no children. Like I said, growing up, my parents were very, very big on that. You are not having nobody's child unless you're married.
Right, but then you gave that as a reason for why you're married, but you weren't pregnant, so that was a little confusing for me. So I just wanted to just...
Yeah. No, I'm still not pregnant. But as far as...
Okay, all right. So listen, let me let you jump off the line, and then we're gonna take the next caller. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, so listen, everybody. This is one of the theories that I've heard out there. There were people who did surveys of black couples who got married, right? And the survey stated that lighter complected women. So basically, let's just talk about the numerical facts, right? Only 29% of black men get married. Only 29%. 71% of them don't get married, right? So when we start hearing things about this wall and how black women are not choosing the right man, et cetera, are black men marrying anyone? And when they do get married, who do they get married to? According to this survey, a light complected woman is 4 times as likely. I forget the actual numbers, but I was listening to this on, those channels where they talk about dark-skinned women, et cetera. So they were saying that a light complected black woman is exponentially has a greater chance exponentially of getting married than a medium complected woman, and that a medium complected woman has I think twice or 4 times as likely as getting married as a dark complected woman. So it makes me wonder. When I started looking at, there's this show on OWN called Black Love, right? And it's a series that interviews married black couples, right? And the bulk of the relationships on that show are of black men with light complected women. And so I wanted to find out if this is something that you two have noticed and seen, because I didn't notice it until it was spoken about. And then once I started looking around, I was like, oh my gosh. So let's take a survey. So we did 3 and 4. So let's do 5 and 6, right? If you have noticed that lighter complected women are the ones that get snatched up sooner, I want you to put up a 5. If you have not noticed that, put up a 6. And let's see what the numbers are, because I want to see whether or not other people are noticing this as well. So we have these men who are coming out, and they're, wow, so most of you have noticed this? Wow. So we have these men who are coming out and they're like, oh, look at you, you're not married, you didn't choose the right man, this, that, and the other, right? But is there already an internal bias that exists when the choice process is taking place? Because I told you all, when I was younger, right, and I used to I used to straighten my hair, right? Because I grew up, when I was 17, I decided to go natural. And when I was in college, my hair had grown to, a pretty nice length by the time I got to college. And I would wear my hair in a natural, and then one day I went and I got like a silk press, right? And then I attracted, different types of men. And then when my hair went back, so they treated me a certain way when my hair was straightened, right? And then after, when my hair returned back to its fro, they treated me a different way. And I was like, well, what changed besides, my hair? You know what I mean? And so this is why you all will not catch me wearing long weaves and stuff like that. I think the last time I wore a long weave was in 2012. And then I noticed very distinctly, because I had like some parking ticket or something that I had to pay, and I went down to the Wall Street area. And I noticed the types of men that were attracted to me when I had the long weave. And I remember I ended up on this radio show. And on the radio show, I was like, I'm bicultural. And the white host, who's a white male host of the show, was like, ooh, you're biracial. And he was like just so interested in me, thinking that white DNA had touched me. He was like, oh, I can tell, no wonder, right? Thinking that white DNA had touched me in order for me to have had the allure that he found so intriguing or whatnot, right? And this is what made me make different changes behind the scenes in terms of how I present. Like, you won't catch me with the long weave. You won't catch me doing that. I don't want to feed into that. I don't want to perpetuate that. And I'm just not interested in that, right? Listen, phone lines are open. For some reason, my phone line, the phone lines are acting up today. I don't know why it's doing that, because I'm missing phone calls while I'm sitting here. and I'm not sure why, right? So the phone lines are open. Go ahead and reach out. You just have to continue to call in. Let's see. And someone is saying, I love putting my hands through afro. But you know what? It takes a particular type of person. And now my sister's calling me. Everyone wants to call. All right. So listen, so colorism is real. Colorism is real. And I want to ask the ladies out there, so the phone lines are open for men and women to call in. And I want to ask the ladies out there, so I want to ask ladies out there, right? I want to ask the black women in particular, right? Let's do a survey, right? The number is going to be number 7, right? So this is going to be the number 7. Ladies, if you feel that there was a man in your past that you should have married from your past, if you feel that there was a man you should have married, put up the number 7. If you feel you should have married somebody that you didn't end up marrying, put up the number 7. I want to see what the regret is out there. Whether or not there are people who regret the choice to leave a particular man in the past. Put up a number 7 if you've regretted leaving a particular man in the past. Okay. Okay. Put up the number 8 if there are no regrets. If everybody that you've left in the past was somebody that needed to be left in the past. Put up the number 8. So we're going to be looking for the 7s and the 8s. 7 is there's someone from the past you should have married. 8 is no. Hello? Hello? I'm going to have to restart my system because the sound is not coming through. Let me do that right now. Okay. So we have some 7s and we have some 8s, right? Okay. You know, from what it is that I'm seeing, it looks like it's half and half. That there are some women who feel like there were some men who, because you know what, I only know my own personal point of view. So I would love, I'm restarting the system right now. And so let's see, let me scroll through while the system is restarting and see if there's more 7s than 8s. It looks about half and half, honestly. It looks about half and half. And when you vote, please only vote one time. Please only vote one time when you vote. Give me just 1 second. Okay. So we are connected. Let's get the phone lines up and running. Something was going on with the phone line. I don't know why it wasn't connecting, but we're getting it together. And remember, if you are a platinum member, you have a special phone number that you can call in on. All right. And that Cash App link is below. So if you're enjoying the show and you want to support the show and you want to drop some love, go ahead and do that. Cash App is $TonyaTKO. Every little bit helps, you know what I mean, to support independent creators like me. So it's $TonyaTKO. Go on and drop that through. I'll give you a shout out on the air. Give me 1 second. I'm logging into the system right now. Yeah, this is very interesting. Thank you, Pinky. All right. So phone lines are open. Let me check the Let me check the connection. Okay, it's connected. Phone lines are open. Okay, let me. Okay, you're on the air live. Can you hear me? You're on the air live. Can you hear me? You know, I'm sorry. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know why we're having these technical difficulties. Give me just 1 second. Let me, I don't know why it's not. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna try to fix this. I'm sorry, give me just 1 second. Is somebody upset inside the audience? All right. Let's see. Let's see. You know what? Let me disconnect and then reconnect. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Okay, so now I hear something at least, but let me see if I can get you on the big speakers. Okay, are you there? Hello? So the speakers are the issue. Let me remove, and then just give me 1 more second. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. And then we're just going to search for the device. And then, you know, I love when my hair is cut down low. I love it. Let's see. All right, here we go. It says it's connecting. Okay, say something now. Wow, the sound has gone out. This is unacceptable. We're gonna try this one more time. What is your name? What's your name? Hello?
My name is Black.
Okay, so now it's working now, Larry. So talk to us. What's your comment this evening? I need you to turn on your computer. I'm hearing an echo, a bad one.
Oh yeah, I don't have anything in the background.
Okay, well, sometimes it's headsets also that create a little bit of an echo. So if you could just talk to me straight in through the receiver because I'm hearing a little bit of echo.
Okay, can you hear me? Is it good?
Yeah, I hear you. So go forward.
Oh yeah. So one of the things I wanted to say that it's not just in the Black community when it comes to these terms in certain groups. It's multicultural. So it's you know I'm back and forth on different content, and you know for the spoilers, I hate to admit it, but it's the white guys too. You know, it's a universal thing when it comes to these terms. But how I can break down the wall is kind of like, if I could relate to it being that men are visual, it would be like say you have a stripper in the club, right? All right, and she starts out, you know, she gets a lot of attention, she gets a lot of money, right? 5 years go by, 10 years goes by, 15 years go by. She still has some of the same customers, but they're splitting their money with the newer acts that are coming in. And a lot of women may feel some type of way about the term hitting the wall, but you got to think about it. Like a strip club, you're only going to the club just to see them, just to see their looks. You're not looking at the other things that they have, as far as like they might be educated, you know, they may have some other standards. But to me, it's more for women who put their value into their looks and don't offer anything else. Like if you're on IG and all you show is your butt and your looks, you know, when those start to fade, you hit the wall. You have nothing to offer. You show nothing to offer. So it doesn't necessarily, you know, apply to women who have.
Let me ask you this question though. So have you heard this term referred to strippers, like women who are in the adult entertainment industry? Have you heard that term referred to them?
Strippers, porn stars, models, actresses, everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Have you heard that term applied to women who were just regular women?
I've heard it, yes.
Okay. So then I'm confused to your point.
Well, it's relative to who's actually saying it, because you know sometimes you'll have you'll have a theme or something like that, and people will add on to it. So you know what I'm saying? Like I don't really look at it as like the way I look at it is where you place most of your value. You place your value on looks and stuff like that. I mean, because I'm married. My wife would be 40. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't consider her as hitting the wall. But people who just, you know, put that statement on everyone would consider that as hitting the wall. But I don't consider my wife as hitting the wall.
I see. Yeah, because like I
said, she has more to offer. She's beautiful, but she has a whole lot to offer. So I definitely wouldn't consider her hitting the wall.
Yeah. So you started out the conversation saying men are visual, and that this is a term that is mainly applied to women who work in the adult entertainment industry because that's what the men are going there for. They're going for the visual stimuli, right? However, this is something that I've heard referred to regular women. Like someone came to my videos and said, because the last video we did was where we were talking about women who are choosing to remain child-free and unattached to men. And they said as a result that I was the person who had hit the wall. And the reason why I bring it up is because I don't really know I didn't know what the term meant. I didn't know how it applied to me. I don't really see what business it is of theirs if I don't want them and they don't want me. Or they claim they don't. Well, we all know.
Well, I was in the chat basically answering some questions, you know, as to what it is. Like I'm a guy, so I'm in these circles, so I know what it is. Not that, you know what I'm saying, I'm not saying that I actually agree with it, but you got to understand, like I watch a lot of content. You know what I mean? I watch the femininity channels, I watch the manosphere channels, I watch a lot of stuff. And you got to kind of be careful because you can pick up some good stuff, you can learn some good stuff and all that, but you got to be careful because combined, a lot of them don't have a solution for the community. It's, you know, women stay away from dusty men, and, you know, you got the swirls, and you got the red pill, you got the mixed out. But at the end of the day, that doesn't help black community, doesn't help black families. And you got to understand, like, this term is more relative to guys who have issues with relationships when it comes to women. You know, those are the guys who say men who get married are weak, or, you know, a lot of men are simps because they do X, Y, and Z. So I really wouldn't take it personal. You got to consider where this term is coming from.
Okay. So
and if that's the case, you don't want these guys anyway.
Right. So to sum it up, where are you saying this term is coming from?
It's coming from a lot of guys who've had issues with women and who are pretty much not in the committing phase. They're scared they may be scorned, maybe, you know, bad divorce, child support. They may have had bad relations with women. And that's pretty much their answer to the independent woman. You have the red pill, and you have, and there's nothing wrong with being, you know, more red pill, more manly, but some of these guys take it a little bit too far to where it's pretty much saying like, you know, if you want to commit, you're a sucker. And that's the wrong message because, look, I'm a family man. I got kids. And I believe in community. There's no community without family. And that message goes against that, you know, so it's counterproductive.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, you know what? Thank you. We appreciate you calling in.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. That call was very insightful. So the phone lines are open. I want to hear from the next person. So we have it open for men and women. One of the questions that I have to the women, so you know, one of the things that I'm really surprised at is that there are women who say that they let a lot of good men pass them by where they should have committed in those relationships. It was about half and half. Half of the women felt that they should have committed to men of the past. Half of the women say, you know what, who it is that I left in the past was meant to be left in the past. You know, when I think about my own life, right, and I think about what men were like in their 20s, because I'm trying to figure out in the Black community, when was this time of this plethora, this overabundance of Black men who were like, I'm here, I'm available to get married, I'm husband material, I want to be a husband, and I'm looking for a wife. Because in the 20s, you know what guys were like in their 20s. It was like a feeding frenzy out there. Like if you remember how, if you ever seen a movie with piranha when they throw meat into the water and they just like buzzing all around trying to chomp at the meat. That's what they were like in their 20s. And then when the 30s came around and they were like making the shift from the 20s into now starting not relationships, but starting to go to work and starting to shift their energy, because once that testosterone plummets and they start to shift their energy into work, then they're like, oh, I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm really building my career right now. And then when they turn into their 40s, it's kind of hit or miss, because they're like, the men who want to have children are like, oh, well, you know, I may need to start looking for a woman now, right? And then they then avert their attention to, I don't know. It's very interesting, because it's like a relationship really only comes from the space that, a relationship comes from the space of the person who is seeking that relationship. And if he hasn't done that internal work, then he may be interested in a relationship, but he may not be relationship material. Not only that, every woman is seeking something different. The type of life that I choose to live and want to live with a partner may not be the type of life that is conducive for every man that's out there. You know what I mean? So it's like, is it really all about just finding somebody, anybody who wants you and jumping into a relationship with them, or does the quality of the relationship matter? But my question is, for Black women, at what stage, can somebody answer and tell me, at what stage were Black men just like, oh, I'm here, my phone is not ringing, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's not ringing, but let's try to get this, I don't know why, let's see. Let me try to close up some windows, because I think that something may be happening in a different window. Okay, here we go. So the windows are open. All right, phone lines are open. I'm sorry, but maybe that was my opportunity to talk so I could get this out. So if you called in before, call in again. The phone lines are open, 323-488-3149. Okay, I want Black women to tell me, at what age range were all of these Black men supposedly husband material and wanting to be husbands? So someone is saying 25 to 35, he should be ready. 25, really? When a person is getting out of college at I don't know what to do with this. Let me close the window and open it again, because I don't know what is going on. Okay, I just closed it and opened it again, so it should be ready. Let me see what we have here. Oh, finally, it's working. All right, you're on the air live. turn on your computer. What's your name?
Hi, Tonya. My name is Tia.
Hi, Tia. So you're on your live. What's your comment?
So my comment is just that, in light of everything going on in this world, one thing that I'm very, very happy that I focused on was my education, my own career trajectory, and ultimately really carving out an effective plan for myself to be financially independent, meaning not even having to depend on a job because of my investments. And that is something that I don't think enough Black women are really having a conversation about.
Say that again. What are they not having a conversation about? Having their own money?
So just not even just having their own money, but really investing in themselves so that they can become financially independent, meaning regardless if they choose to pursue a relationship or not, they have those investments that they can always fall back on.
Okay.
And they're not dependent on just one source of income.
Okay. Okay.
And so that is something, just thinking about the market, for example, and, how Black women, I think it can be very, very confusing for many people, but looking at how to go about investing in index funds, which is very, very simple when you think about just following the S&P 500 or the total stock market index. You're not trying to beat the market. It's really just investing over the long term. I don't want to bore your audience, but what I'm really getting at is if you look at what's going on now, the rich are getting richer, and a lot of the investments are tied up in real estate as well as the market. And so I think the conversation that we have as Black women tends to always be focused on relationships, leveling up to get a man. But I am just so elated that I was able early on to learn from other people how to go about really investing in my future. And so it's not that I'm not interested in relationships. I'm a heterosexual woman. I do not have any children, but that's by my own choice.
Okay.
And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I am highly selective in terms of who I choose to spend my time with, because, to be quite honest, when you build a really nice nest egg for yourself and you're able to do the things that you want to do in terms of traveling, in terms of really working on yourself emotionally, getting yourself together from a mental standpoint and also from a physical standpoint. I wake up every morning at 5:30 a.m. I pray, I meditate, I do my exercises, I run for 2 miles a day. And I am heavily invested also in my just generally, eating right and being around the right type of people. And when you have that mindset and you're not just that needy girl, and by the way, I'm a brown-skinned woman that tends to get a little dark during the summer, and I love it. But what I'm getting at is I went from being that insecure person early on in my life where I was looking for that validation, from men in particular, like, oh, I hope he finds me pretty, I hope he finds me attractive. And it dawned on me that really has to come from myself, and I have to carve out the type of life that I want, independent of what another person thinks or what another person is going to provide for me. And so that's really just the message that I wanted to leave with Black women. Really focus on yourself, because I'm seeing these stories. You see what's going on in certain communities in terms of Black women in particular and Black children being subjected to random, gun firing when a person is aiming at one person, but it gets another person. Yes. I don't know the term for that, but just seeing those type of things, being in the wrong community at the wrong time, and a lot of it has to do with the fact of not having the resources to live where you want to live, yes, quite frankly. And I feel for Black women who are caught up thinking that Black men or white men or whomever is going to change your predicament. Yes, for some women, you may find a man that can take you out of your situation, but there's always going to be some sort of trade-off, if you will. And I'm seeing even with my friends where some of them were married, they're divorced, and now they're trying to really figure it out. And times are very hard for them.
Yeah.
They have children, they have expenses, they can't do the things that they really want to do because they're boggled down.
Yeah.
And it was like early on in their life, when they were in their early 20s, they found these, what would appear to be these beautiful relationships, but they fizzled, is essentially what I'm saying. And they did not have a fallback plan.
Yes.
And so I look at my life, I look at the fact that a lot of men in these different online networks, whatever you want to call it, will say, oh, you don't have a man. Well, I could if I wanted to, but I'm so happy that I focus on myself, and I continue to focus on myself, my development, my own health, my wellness,
Yes.
because I see what happens when you don't do that.
Okay.
And that's really my main message.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you calling in. I understand what you're saying. There are some people in the audience who are complaining about your call, even asking for the next person to get on the line and wondering why you're talking about money and saying that you're bragging. Why are you bringing money up?
Tonya, I'm going to tell you why. Because for a lot of Black women, they're uncomfortable with facing the reality, facing the fact that money in this particular society buys you freedom. I'm just going to be honest. When I listen to all different types of people, I'm a bogglehead, aka Jack Bogle, who started Vanguard. I really got into that movement. I got into the financially independent, retire early movement. I started understanding how to invest. I started understanding real estate, what I needed to do to put myself in where I wanted to position myself.
But let me ask you this question though. Does having this money and this direction and the retirement plan and all of that, does it make it harder or easier pairing with men?
It makes it easier, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because unlike other women who are, when they are around certain types of men, it's more or less like, what do I need to do so that I can be, picked or chosen? From my vantage point, quite frankly, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I have everything that I need. And also, I have the benefit of not being stressed out. And so I have my brother, for instance, he was very annoyed at me because we did a FaceTime, and he said, you look 15 years younger than what you are. You look like you're in your early 20s. And it's because you don't get yourself stressed out, and you live the life, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and you're able to travel. And I said, you're damn right. That's correct.
Okay, so question. Are you single right now?
I am. I'm single, and I'm loving it. But to really answer your question, other women that are not like me, when they get around certain types of men, they're trying to jump through hoops. They're trying to compete. Whereas I have that mystique because I don't need to do that. And so what higher earning men tend to, they're calling me kind of like, well, I don't understand, like, what's the issue? Let's talk, they want to find out, and I'm not so forthright in terms, I don't tell people, obviously, about my personal finances in person or anything like that. I'm very, very quiet about that, but they really want to know, why is it that I'm not trying to impress them and doing the things that other women are willing to do? It's because I have my own, quite frankly. That's why.
Okay. Do you want to have children?
I tell women, I'm sorry?
Do you want to have children?
See, I'm like you, Tonya, in the sense that my genes are very special to me.
Girl,
and it would take the right, I'm sorry?
I said speak it, girl, speak it. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, it would take the right, I mean, he would have to be so on point because it matters to me what I birth and what I bring into the world. My legacy is important, and I would never, ever settle. So I'm willing to go childless. That's perfectly fine. I will give to charity. I will leave a lot of stuff in terms of real estate, in terms of my investments to my cousins, my nieces, that sort of thing. I'm happy to do that. So
Okay.
I don't have this urge, this desire to just birth a child just to have a child. Now, if I
Gotcha.
met the man who was my match, Mr. Right for me, and he met what I need and what I felt would give my child the best ability to compete and to have everything laid out for them. And I knew, regardless of what happened in the relationship, that my child would be set in terms of the type of genes that this man had, meaning very, very intelligent, compassionate, family-oriented. All of those things were aligned. Absolutely, I would not have an issue having a child or two, but it would have to be within a marriage, and it would be a business relationship where it would
So you know
have
what?
to be these things in place.
Thank you so much. We're going to let you get off of the line, but they just want to know your age before you jump off.
Sure. So I am 32 years old.
She's 32. All right. So thank you so much for calling in, Mama. We'll see you in the comment section.
Sure. Take care.
Okay. All right. So you know what? I saw that there were a lot of people who had a lot of different things to say inside of the audience about this particular caller. You're on the air live with Tonya. Give me just one moment. I'm going to come to you. Just make sure that your computer is down and that you're ready to go on live. All right. So there were a lot of people who had a lot to say. They didn't know why she was talking about finances and why she was talking about money, etc. Right? Oh, ladies. You know what? Listen. I believe in hypergamy because hypergamy is just the way of life. It's nature, right? It's nature. But I don't believe in bumptitude. I really don't. And I believe that it is important for women, for us to be able to have our own. I believe it's important for us to be able to rock and roll and make the moves that we need to make, because there's a difference between a man who comes to you and he becomes head of house and provider because that is his gift to the relationship versus that's him saving you. There's a huge difference. There's a different energy, a different tonation that comes along with either one of those. So ladies, I for those of you who thought that what she was saying was crazy, I guess it's because I don't talk about it enough, but I definitely feel that we need to put the foundations in place to be. I thought that you all were looking at me, and you know that I have the foundations in place to be able to be a cushion for, like, we're in a pandemic. I told you I could go 5 years without working and maintain the same lifestyle. So I hope that you all are listening, and I hope that you all are being inspired. All right, you're on the air live. What's your name?
Hi, this is Ivana.
Hey, Ivana, how are you?
I'm doing really good. I definitely like the topic that you have chosen today. And I was listening to what you were saying about how men respond differently to you, depending on how you present yourself. So, like wearing your hair straight versus wearing it natural. Mm-hmm. And I do think that there's a stark difference in how the world reacts to you. I mean, I even had a boss tell me, like, I like you better when you have your hair straight. So I think that it's such a difficult place that Black women are put in, because on one side, we've definitely been going through the natural hair movement, mm-hmm. and becoming more comfortable with that and embracing the beauty of it. And on the other side, we also want to be able to be viewed as the conventional, I guess, beauty standard, however that might be, because the conventional beauty standard is more Eurocentric, especially for women that are trying to practice hypergamy. And there's so much futurism and colorism and ignorance. So it's very upsetting. I think as far as hitting the wall, Do you think guys mean that more so biologically, or do they mean it when it comes to looks? So like
Yeah,
the biological clock,
no,
or?
I don't think they're even talking about the biological clock, but I think that, I mean, these things, they all work in tandem, don't they? So I think it's a combination of a lot of different things because, as you get older, your fertility does dwindle, you know, as you get older, it's not necessarily, as you get older, your looks will shift, you know what I mean? Depending on how you take care of yourself, how you maintain yourself, right? Your looks will shift. But if I had to be completely honest and completely forthright, I feel that it's merely an insult thrown out at women to kind of put women in their place and be like, look, you should have chosen me, or all of these women who didn't want me should have chosen me when we were younger, right? But to be honest, I mean, I was out there in my 20s. I saw what dudes were like in their 20s. But it wasn't nothing selling down a bottle about most of them. You know what I mean? Like most of them were either not ready or not the right material to settle down with. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
I think that like maturity-wise, for whatever reason, men sometimes tend to be very delayed. It's like I even decided to date older men that were 10 years older than me, and it just seems like they are, like, it seems like they should be a few grades or years younger than me or something. Like they're still in college and they're 33, 34.
Listen, you know what? The part of the reason that I brought up this topic and made it specific to Black people is because, I mean, I remember what it was like, the frustration I felt in my 20s with men just thinking that I was going to be a receptacle for their penis. I remember what that was like. And I remember what it was like is the moment that men started turning 29, that's when they wanted to come around and settle down because people felt that 30 was old and they didn't want to become 30 without being fathers. And so there was a lot of men that you could catch at the 29 going into 30 mark, but it was the internal desire to be fathers without the foundation to actually make sure that, like that woman who called in who was talking about her legacy, they were more concerned with procreating than really creating the legacy. And then now, it's so if we were going to talk about the wall hitting comment, because you know what, it's like, really, who chooses me is none of your effing business. Men act like as a woman gets older that men aren't getting older too. So it's like, I'm not looking for a man in his 20s. You know what I mean? So it's like, as I get older, the men who are interested in me are getting older as well and more established. And only a man who's a fool who's 50 is looking for a woman in their 20s. It's stupid. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy to me.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm like, at that point, some men have grandchildren by that point, and this person is just starting their life. A 20-year-old is just starting their life, but another man that's in his 50s, my dad is in his 50s, and we had my little nieces,
Yeah, you know what? And so that's the thing. I remember when I was in my 20s, I met this guy who was 50, and he was bragging. He was like, I'm single, I don't have children, and I asked him, I said, how much longer is it a good thing for a man to brag about that? And there was this girl that I met. I don't know how she happened to come across my information, but she wrote to me. And she was like, listen, I heard you talking about this guy, the same guy who was bragging about being 50, because I met him at this event. And she contacted me, and she was like in her 20s, and she was like, yeah, this guy, I met him. He seemed like such a good catch, but he's so abusive. He was like so mentally abusive to her. And I was like, there's a trade-off, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, at some point, if you're bragging about being 50, single, and childless, like that's some sort of prize, you really, I don't know, it's off base. Because I'm like, I can understand a 35-year-old man say, but by the time you become 50, it's like, that's not a good thing anymore. It shows that there could be some fertility issues going on with you. There could be some choice issues that are going wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Or just wrong place at the wrong time.
Today, like I was able to be at this reindeer ranch with my grandparents and my nieces and cousins and aunts and uncles. And I was just like, wow, they now have great-great-grandchildren, or they have great-grandchildren, I'm sorry. But to be able to see I think that maybe more men need to be able to just have value and being able to see their family trees expand and value marriage and be able to set that example for the rest of their family. And for some reason, I think that it's becoming, more and more of this idea of the family unit doesn't matter as much to Black men. And they don't really care if they've been with a woman for years and they had kids with that person. They'll just, move forward to another person once they get tired of them. And I'm just like, man, I just think it might be, I don't know. And I know this sounds crazy or weird, but I don't know if it's like a discipline thing, to not be able to stick through things and work things out, I guess, to make things a family unit. But
what it is?
I mean, I know my grandparents and parents went through things, but
yeah, you know what I'll say? I'll say that we live in a different time nowadays where, first of all, men are very visual, it's true. And we live in a time that's different. So like back in your grandparents' days, back in your parents' days, they married the girl next door. They married the girl who was introduced from a friend at church, or someone introduced them to a family member of a co-worker. And so they married within the circle. So this did a lot of different things, checks and balances. So you're not able to treat somebody any kind of way when you know their family, when their family knows you, when you know people who know them, right? So also access to different things, different people that we consider beautiful. So, you marry the girl next door, you're not bombarded with all of these images of women with implants and all types of camera tricks and the cues for what society considers beautiful. Because if you look on Instagram, you see the same thing over and over and over. They all look the same. It's like Barbie. Some have darker eyeshadow than the other, but they all look the same. They're getting surgeries to look very similar. So now you have access to, so it's men are so, it's so sad. And I want to get into it. I want to switch the topic a little bit towards the latter part of this show, but we now have men who are comparing what it is that they have in the girl next door to the girl that's available on Instagram. And so men are trying to get the best woman that they can get for them. They want to get the prettiest woman. They want to get the woman that society will, and this is not all men, but typically one of the driving forces of men is to use the type of woman that they're able to acquire as some sort of social currency to have bragging rights towards other men. This is and it doesn't really seem to matter to them whose personality is a better fit for theirs. They just feel, if she's pretty enough, and I want her enough, then it'll work out. You know what I mean? Because they don't really think things really fully all the way through. And this is why, mating and selection is really left up to women, because it just doesn't seem like our counterparts are able to really truly make across the board the best of decisions when it comes to mate selection. As long as the woman is young, has the signs of fertility, and other men consider her pretty. You know what I mean? And then not only that, then we have the colorism, the racism, the featureism, all of those things that aid into it, where a man can think that you're attractive, for this stage of his life. But once he gets more money, now he's trying to impress different hierarchies of men, and then they want the women that these men will give him props for. Like, oh, what is it about this man that he's able to get such and such type of woman? And unfortunately, in that hierarchy, black men seem to abandon the people who have features that look like theirs in deference to the women who have features like their oppressors. I said it. Yes, I said it.
I definitely see that. I mean, it's so evident. It's almost like a joke that, like the Kanye West song, he's going to leave you for a white girl or something like that. Now, I feel like interpersonally, I guess within my family, I don't see that happening as much, or in my smaller town in Illinois. But I do see men moving to like a younger girl, that are mature, I would say, that are outside of my family. They'll move on to a younger girl that may not be the right match for them, just because they think that it's going to make them look better.
But you know what? Listen, we've been on the line for 15 minutes, so I need the next thing that you say to kind of wrap it up, okay?
Okay, I'll just say one more comment. Okay. You were talking about gatekeeping. I think that I feel bad for women that don't have a father that can, I guess, more so act as a person that makes sure that the guy that they're with, I guess, treats them better. I wouldn't say make sure, but I would say there's a different treatment level when you do have a dad that is able to be there and talk with that young man before they start dating you.
Yeah, well, you know what? Listen, I hear you. I hear you. I wonder, so what do young ladies do whose fathers pass away and he's not there to threaten this man? You know what I mean? But listen, I'll let you jump off the line, and then I'll let you jump back into the audience. Thank you, Ivana, for calling in.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right, so phone lines are open. We're going to take a few more calls, but I want to hear, I want to switch the conversation, right? You're on the air live with Tonya, but make sure your computer is turned down, and when it come back, just be ready to go on the air. All right. So listen, I want to find out, and I would love for men, married women, I would love for people to pontificate, right? Because there are people talking about hitting the wall, and now, you're supposed to be desperate and all of this stuff, right? So one of my things is, right, it's none of your business who does or doesn't choose me. We're not, I don't know you, you don't know me. It's none of your business. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so if someone doesn't choose me, then whose business is that at that point besides mine? But it's like they make these statements to kind of be like, I don't know, to revel in what they think is another person's pain or a woman's pain, because the hatred that they have is so deep. So I want to ask, and I want to hear from the men in the audience. So men, please call in. Make sure you get those thumbs up. And the Cash App is $Tonya TKO. I appreciate the contribution. Thank you for the love. My question then to men is, how would my life be better with just any relationship with a man? How would that make my life better? How would that enhance my life? What is the perks? I want to know, because there are men who are making these statements, and there are married men who are on on the broadcast. So I want to know, how would my life be made better? I want to know that. All right, you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Bad Apple in the chat.
Hi, Bad Apple.
Thank you. I'm gonna make this real quick, okay? I really feel like a part of our problem is our culture, and particularly Black culture. I should say urban pop culture, because our urban pop culture is a lot different from regular pop culture. In urban pop culture, we glorify things that are really kind of degenerate. And
like, especially in our music, there's a lot of degeneracy in our music, and a lot of it really just denigrates the idea of marriage and family.
Yes.
They came up with an alternative term called wifey, which is not a wife, not a real wife, but it's somebody that you hold in that regard without giving them the actual, rights or benefits of being an actual wife. We have made coined the terms baby mama and baby daddy and made them popular and regular. Like, those are things that are just accepted. Yeah. So a lot of things, like, we have done it to ourselves, and I think it's about what you feed your mind. Like, I don't know if you've seen this show. I've been watching this show called P-Valley.
No.
It's very interesting, but it follows the lives of strippers.
Okay.
And I just look at the things that, we put out, and it feeds our community, and it feeds us the wrong thing. It's sort of like, why a person becomes diabetic, because they're eating the wrong type of food.
Okay.
And that applies to our community as a whole. That's all I had to say. I'm going to jump off and, let you get the next caller, but I think that it's important that we watch the type of things that we feed ourselves, watch the type of things that we feed our communities, not normalizing these attitudes of, being degenerate.
Gotcha.
And I say that with a not knowing a better word. But thank you so much. I love you. You're so beautiful. And keep doing what you're doing, Tonya.
Thank you, Bad Apple. I love you
too. Bye-bye.
Okay, so phone lines are open. We appreciate that phone call, so we are perpetuating a lot of things. Hey, beautiful brown baby doll. This is my girl. Welcome, welcome. Why don't you call in, beautiful? Call in. I want to hear from you. I want to see what dating is like out there for a person with their doctorate who is absolutely stunningly gorgeous from head to toe, is physically fit, has her own money and esteem and status. I want to hear. I want to hear what it's like out there. And then I just, you know what, I also want to hear from men. I really want to hear from men. Men, I need you to call back in, especially some of the men who are married. I want to hear how a woman's life is made better by just any relationship with a man. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name? Hi, I need you to make sure your computer is turned down, so I'm going to come back to you, but make sure your computer is turned down and that you're ready to go on the air, okay? So listen, I want to hear from the married men who are out there. I want to hear from you all. If the person hung up, listen, you must be ready. We'll call in and be ready. Listen, okay, call in, beautiful. The phone number is inside of the subject, 323-488-3149. I want to hear, how is a woman's life made better by just any relationship with a man? Okay, make sure that you're ready to go on the air.
Hello?
Yes, you're live with Tonya. What's your name?
Kaylin.
Hi, Kaylin. Can someone type the number inside of the audience? It's inside of the subject of the video, but type it in the audience for beautiful. Hi, Kaylin. So talk to us. What is your comment this evening?
Sorry, I was a little bit nervous, but I was just wanted to talk about the hitting the wall situation, especially like in the Black community, and what I've seen other guys have mentioned about non-Black women as well.
Yeah.
Right. Like what the caller said before, like how in the hip hop culture, we're taught like either the music or so, like the music has changed. Like back then it used to be about marriage and everything like that, and then over time it just changed to let's sleep around, let's hook up, let's meet up at the club, and everything like that. And so I noticed that with guys had mentioned about white women, like in high, like kind of like whenever they in high school, I would say the party, and they was partying up and doing all kind of stuff. And then once they got into college, it's like all of a sudden they're like worried about marriage. Like you notice how they get married during college and stuff like that. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, I went to an HBCU. I didn't see not one man in my HBCU talking about no daggone marriage undergrad. I did not see it. I didn't see it. They were concerned about step shows and fresh meat and going to parties, but they were not thinking about no damn marriage.
Yeah, exactly. And I just know, I saw videos where they was mentioning white women. Like, these are black men that are mentioning it. Like, oh, white women, they're getting married at 20. But it doesn't mean that it's, like later on the years is not going to last,
Yeah, I mean, marriage
Because I
is
know
tricky.
some white
And
women
then
that
also,
get married.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
The quality of the marriage. What is the quality of the marriage?
Like for white women, or are you talking about for black women?
Any person, what is the quality? Because people are talking about like marriage is the ultimate goal, but what is the quality of that marriage? Because many of us could have already been married. Many of us are already divorced. You know what I mean? So what is the quality of that marriage? That's what I want to know.
Well, like I said, I just know that, for guys, I think that they believe that this is like the main end goal for women. And, most guys are not thinking about marriage,
Yeah.
Like, that's not their end goal. Maybe their goal is like, starting a business, upgrading it.
Thank you. Exactly. Well, you know what? Thank you for your point of view. I'm gonna elaborate on that a little bit more once you get off. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you. Okay, so listen. This is the question. This is the question. We have people who are creating the music for our culture. We have gatekeepers who are not letting certain artists get through, and only certain artists, toxic artists, come through with their dysfunction in the music. I'm going to come to you in just a moment. Just make sure that your computer is turned down and that you're ready to go on the air. Yeah, it's like we have these gatekeepers that are only allowing certain artists to thrive and get out there and promote them and put them on tour and get their music out there. And the music that's coming out is poisonous for the culture. And we have a lot of different things that are impounding upon the culture that is destructive to the black family, and people who are being hypnotized, and also other people who feel that we should be impenetrable to advertisement, to music, to cultural cues, to magazines, and all of this stuff. But if advertisements didn't work, people wouldn't advertise. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hello, Tonya. It's Dr. Nita.
Hey!
Beautiful brown baby doll.
Beautiful brown baby doll is on the line. Everybody throw up those snaps for the young lady. Welcome to the line. Yes, you know what? I'm so happy. You know what? We haven't spoken in so long. I remember when we first got. I remember when you first got on YouTube.
Yes, you have always been such a. I tell you all, Tonya is one of those people who's exactly who she is. She is amazing, a wonderful woman. You've always checked on me when you didn't even know I needed checking on, and I appreciate you.
You are so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do try to check on people every once in a while, so I appreciate you saying that. So listen, I want to hear, because I want to hear, what is it like out there in these streets in terms of dating? You're a successful woman. You're gorgeous. Body fit is a fiddle. Hair natural, long, and healthy. Educated. You're on the professional track. So go ahead. I want to hear, what is it like out there?
Well, I will say, I'm going to be absolutely honest and transparent. I can talk about this all day. However, I will say right now, I am currently in a very happy relationship in a good place with a black man. However, and Tonya, we've had conversations about this. I was brought up and raised to be with any man that treats you well, whether he's purple, green, yellow, orange, or blue.
My mother told me if he treats you well, that's who you're with. So I don't come from a home where I was taught that your only option was a black man.
Okay.
So I have had fun, I have lived, and I have been with different races, different ages, different people. And when I say been with, not necessarily in long-term relationships, but I have dated different people.
Okay.
I told God on this last relationship, I wanted a serious man that is prepared for marriage, and that loves me and I can love him. That doesn't come with me needing to fix. And so what I will say is, you've asked me how it has been. Before him, I would say people would act like they had it together. And that's why I don't go for a lot of the teachings on high value, quote unquote, because I've dated everything from the head exec board guy all the way to the professional football players.
Oh, I know that's right.
People on their way to the NBA. I've dated different people, and honestly, it has to do with the mindset. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what car you drive, what life you live. If your life isn't balanced and your brain ain't right, it's not going to be right.
No.
And I find that a lot of men, and I'm going to speak blanket, and then I'm going to bring it back to African American men.
Okay.
A lot of men believe that they can do bare minimum in order to be considered high value. And honestly, I'm going to speak to the women on this too. We support them in that. I am not going to support them in that. If you don't treat me the way I desire to be treated, and not only just how I desire to be treated, when I'm treating you the way you desire to be treated, if we both have standards, then we're not going to keep vibing. And I'm quick to leave a situation that does not benefit me.
Right.
So I don't do the last call relationship. I don't do the you getting old. I've been told that for a long time. Well, you're beautiful, and you look good. You still look good, but you're not getting any younger. And you know what I say to that? Do you think that makes me want you anymore? Because I would allow these eggs to rot, dry, and for me to sit in the corner by myself happily before I am in a relationship that I settled for.
Oh, I know that's right. I know that's right. Some man actually said that to your face. Some man actually said that to your face.
Oh yeah, I went out with a guy, and I'll say now he's actually married to a white woman, which I have no problem with. But he's still always checking on me, figuring out what I'm doing. And this guy told me on like our fourth date, and I could tell he was absolutely enamored, maybe with the way that I look, and he liked who I was, what I did, and he went about it the wrong way. So he told me on like our fourth date, I really like you. I think you're a great woman, but I feel like you're so focused on, a lot of things in your life and what you have going. And I want you to be focused on, being a wife.
On a what?
And on being a wife.
Oh.
And I kindly say this to him because, Tonya, you know me. I'm quite the feminine girl. I go hard in my life. I go hard in my career, but that's not how I treat relationships. My mother taught me very well. So I kindly said to him, sir, what else would I be focused on right now? Right now, I have no children. I don't have a husband. I'm dating, but I'm dating with a purpose. So until I know that you're the husband, you're not going to get husband benefits.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just not how this works.
Oh, girl. On fourth date, talking about he wants you to focus on being a wife.
He wanted me to focus on being a wife, and that my window was getting short. That I needed to go ahead and make decisions because I was getting older. And I said, that doesn't scare me. Age doesn't scare me. I make very good use of the years I have on this earth.
I know that's right.
And if a man don't want me because of that, then he's counted out. I don't care.
You damn right.
And so to speak to this whole talk about career success and life for women and where we get to and how that makes us unmarriageable, honestly, I think that's an excuse and cop-out for having to come up to the bar and coming up to the plate. Because the young man I'm with right now, I do see marriage with. And that's not me saying that. He says it more than me. And he's a
a wonderful mechanical engineer who has an MBA, who's on the directorate of his company, a startup. He does really well, and he treats me more than his equal.
Okay.
So it's out there, ladies.
So
where
did you meet him at?
He respected me from the beginning.
Where did you meet him?
He respected me from the beginning.
Where did you meet him?
I met him online, believe it or not. He was in town for work, and a friend of mine, I had been out of a relationship for 4 months. She met her husband. Y'all listen, y'all clutch your pearls. She met her husband on Tinder. And she said, Nina, I love you. Just get on there and see what's on there just for shits and giggles. And I said, okay. Got on there, was overwhelmed. It was way too much for me.
Yeah.
But just so happened that I matched with him, and he was in town for the weekend for work here in Houston. And he asked me out, and that first night he asked me out, I said, no, you're here for the whole weekend. I have things to do tonight. So, you know, I guess we'll talk later and see if you're still available, because I can't tonight. I didn't have anything to do. I was washing my hair.
Well, that's something to do.
So the next morning, he contacted me, the very next morning before 11 a.m. And he said, I would like to see you. I would like to meet you. And we met, and we had a 3-hour-long date, and we've been together ever since then. Tomorrow makes 2 years.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this is the young man that okay.
Yes, and he moved from Chicago to Houston to be with me.
How sweet. You know what? We're going to have to dive deeper into that. I'm going to contact you a little later because I need more deets. But you know what? But that's beautiful, because I definitely believe that when it's right, it's right. You know what I mean? Right time, right place. When it's right, it's right. And when it's not, it's not. And I definitely think that it's a mindset thing. And you know what? Because I hear a lot of women, a lot of men talking about this whole relationship thing, whether or not a person would make a good husband, whether or not a person would make a good wife. And I'm like, at the very bare minimum, are they a good person? Are they a good person?
Are they a good person?
You know what I mean? Oh. At the base of everything, are you a good person? And so that's the foundation right there. And so I know that you're very well educated. This guy, in terms of the guy that you're dating, what personal work had he done internally to prepare himself for being a good mate?
So we're both in therapy. He's been in therapy. He had been in therapy before me, and he started going back to therapy probably about 6 months into our relationship. And of course, you know, I stay in therapy. Y'all, it's important. Not just because you have problems, but just because it's important to have a basis from someone who's not involved in your situation.
Yes.
So I always say therapy is important for us and for men. You know, because men are faced with, as Tonya said, all of these images, all of the things they think they know about women, and then the same thing for us. We come with preconceived notions and different aspects and thoughts about us. And I know for me, I wanted to be balanced as a career woman, right? I didn't want my life to be all about my career, which it's not. I love beauty. That's why I do the videos I do. And so I have always been in therapy to make sure that I balance that. For him, it was more about making sure that he dealt with any issues he had with previous relationships, with hang-ups that he's had from his childhood, the problems he's had as a Black man working at a high level in America. So a lot of the things that he's worked on in therapy, I find it makes it easier for me to talk about my life and for him to feel comfortable coming to me about his.
Yes.
And I love the fact that we're able to do that. And we talk about the hard stuff, and we don't act like our shit don't stink. Because we're both two high-level professionals, we're very real with one another. And I think he's done a lot of that work before me and during me.
Okay, when you talk about, so there's two questions I'm going to ask you, and then we'll let you go after that. So you say you talk about the hard stuff. What do you mean by that?
You said I come with my stuff?
No, you said you talk about, that you two talk about the hard stuff. What do you mean?
Well, I think a lot of times it's important to talk about stuff like, what your standards are. A lot of us women are afraid to talk about standards because we're afraid to upset a man.
Yes.
What I noticed for him is me talking about my standards actually turned him on. He was actually happy with the fact that, this is what I want, this is what I desire. This is what has, I'm not going to treat you based on how things have happened in my past, but realize your past does predict your future. So I'm not going to go down those same roads as you've been in your relationships and as I've been in my relationships.
So when
we're able to speak up about those.
So when you say standards, are you talking about romantic standards, life standards, the standards that you have for future children? What are we talking about?
That and what I want, what I or he won't put up with in terms of being able to listen to each other, being able to talk to one another, avoiding speaking over one another and disrespecting one another in conversation. If we differ on opinions, that's okay. We can talk about that too. Also, just space and boundaries. I think a lot of people still ask me, how are you in a relationship and you still do so much stuff? Well, because he respects that I had a life before him.
Right.
And we're able to talk about that. We're able to still have our friendship group and still move in that place. And then also talk about the relationships that others around us have, but realize that that doesn't have to be a part of our relationship.
Okay, and then
so
last
being
question.
Able to talk about the standards in terms of what we're doing with one another.
Gotcha. So last question that I have for you is, you say that you're quick to cut a person off, right? So when you were dating, what were some of the early warning signs of potential problems that you noticed that you would avert away from, that other women may be able to pick up on and also avert from?
Okay, ladies. Ladies, we miss so much, and I've missed so much too. Let's be honest. We've been lied to. I'm gonna say that first. This hopeless romantic story and the things that men do to look like the hopeless romantic are not always safe. I had men that would show up at my door in the middle of the night if I wouldn't answer the phone. That's not cute. That doesn't mean that they love you. That means that they're trying to control you. So you need to watch out for things like that. So let me give you other examples. When a man comes to you and he's instantly, already, without it being the topic, already grouping all women based on his experiences, red flag, run. I've heard men do it, everything from black women to women in general. I've heard them say, well, black women do this, and all women do this. Now, there are some generalizations that are true, but if you've been through issues that you haven't worked out and you're trying to put that off on me, I need to move away from the situation. It's time to run.
Yeah.
If a man starts asking you for all your resources before he's committed to you.
What you mean resources?
No.
What resources are we talking about?
We talking about money. We talking about extra time to do different things that they haven't done in their lives yet. What I mean by that is, I need you to come and even doing this regular basic, I can't even think off the top of my head yet, Tonya, thinking about things like, I need you to come over and help me clean this or do this, or just trying to test you to see what your abilities are as opposed to getting to know you as a person. If someone's doing that and trying to pressure you into the point of what y'all talked about, wifey, too early, it's a red flag. It's a red flag. Talking down to you or talking over you when you try to speak. I look for that, especially with powerful men. And I told you, I dated NFL players, NBA players, not many. I'm not sitting saying went through a line of them, but I've dated a couple. And when you start to talk to me as if I won't have my next meal without you, we got a problem.
Oh, no, child.
Because that's not mutual respect.
Okay.
And I will walk away. And y'all, walk away silently. You ain't got to bust no windows and flatten tires. I step away, and when I step away, my silence is heard loudly.
Yes, absence speak volumes, ladies. All right. Well, you know what? You have blessed the airwaves of this show this evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Nina, beautiful brown baby doll. I really appreciate you calling in and sharing your perspective. I um I appreciate it, and I hope that it serves for women in terms of maintaining their standards and not settling and not paying attention to the insults and continuing to push forward. And also the importance of therapy for yourself as well as therapy for your mate, and having a mate that's willing to go to therapy. You know what I mean? As well as putting yourself out there in different avenues that you may not have tried before. You know what I mean? And just see, because you know what? I truly believe. Like, you know what? Like, I know that my man is out there. I feel his energy. I know that he's out there.
Oh,
right?
he is. He is. And don't settle for the last call, ladies. Let me say this. You asked another standard, don't settle for the last call. I'm not saying that some of the things that these people that are talking about high value are not true, but you got to be able to sort through the excuse. I like this because y'all don't hear me curse much. The bullshit. If someone is trying to scare you into lowering your standards, that's a huge red flag. I don't care how old you are. Because most of us are willing to work with a man. When I say work with a man that's pretty much on our level, that's doing well, that's, good to society, good to himself, good to his family, and show that. But when you start to tell me, I had a married man, I'm sorry, one more thing. I had a married man tell me once, a man that I used to date, he told me when he ran into me, he was trying to get with me. I had no idea that he was married, quote unquote. He said to me, even when I found out he was married, he said, even though I'm married, I mean, you're getting older. You're not getting younger.
Where are these people coming from with this?
In what world would you think I would settle for that? Have you looked at my life? My life is the example of what I expect.
Oh.
And I'm not going to settle for it. So you all be wary of these people with these last call behaviors, because that's a big indicator of how they live their lives.
Ugh. Child, listen,
you are not a dream. You are not a dream. You are a woman with high value.
You know what? I appreciate you calling in. I really do. Thank you. You've given us so much perspective. And listen, when you start planning, make sure you have an invite for me. I'll fly wherever.
Yes, we need to do something. Well, I do want to have you on the podcast, so everybody has heard me invite you. So I'm kind of pressuring. Yeah, I'm using the behavior I just said don't use.
You don't have to pressure me to come on your podcast. You just have to let me. You got to let me know when and where. I'm there. You know you're my girl. Come on.
Yes, I'll send you an email.
Yes, but I was talking about that wedding invite.
Oh Lord, the wedding invite. Oh, we will see how this goes. I do see that.
Okay, well,
God knows it's been something that I see coming.
Well, when you start planning it, just make sure that my invite is in the mail. Just let me know. I'll pull up in my RV. I'll stay outside the venue, and then I'll just have a good time. Drinks on me.
Yes. Yes, of course we would have to have.
You know what? I want to come in town for the bachelorette party. So make sure that all of that is, just give me a heads up, okay?
Oh, a Tonya bachelorette party? Oh Lord.
You're so funny.
Yes. They're asking what the podcast is called, because we're gonna have one Tonya together. It's Now That's Life with Dr. Nina. It's on all your major podcasting platforms.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's collab. Come on mine. I don't know how we would do the recording though, because we would have to do it.
Oh, I'll show you. I'll tell you the best way to do it, because I've been doing a lot of.
Okay, cool.
But I'll show you exactly what to do.
Okay, cool. So thank you so much for calling in. We will definitely make this happen, because there's a lot that we need to continue to talk about. You know what I mean? And living your best life is one of them. Thank you, Dr. Nina.
And Tonya, thank you for having me. You are one of the most amazing women I know and have known for a long time. A lot of people out there don't know that, but Tonya is dope. She's just so cool and sweet and kind and beautiful. And even when I didn't have the confidence I have now, you spoke life into me. And I thank you for that.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, you did. All those long calls we used to have.
Yeah, but I didn't know that your confidence wasn't what it is now, because you always seem pretty confident.
Well, I think it was 95%. It's
Okay.
definitely on 100.
Oh, that was on 100? Okay.
Now.
Yeah, you know what? I have, I'm going to be doing a long drive this evening, so I'm going to hit you up, okay?
Okay, please do.
All right.
Love you much.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, you know what? That made my night right there. That really made my night. That made my night. I enjoyed speaking with Dr. Nina. You know, and I'm so happy that she's found the one that she thinks is the one. You know, and phone line's okay. Give me just 1 second. Okay, I'm going to bring you on the air in just a moment. Just make sure that your computer is down low and that you're ready to go live when I come back to you. I'm happy that, and I hope that this is, because one of the things that she said was about supporting men in their bumptitude instead of really living our life and resonating at the vibration that we resonate at and allowing them to rise up to that. We do nothing for the Black community by placating people in their bumptitude and making excuses for them and supporting the nonsense and the effery. We don't do anything for them. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hi, Tonya, this is Cynthia. How you doing?
Hey, Cynthia. Talk to us.
It's just like these men go by on a checklist and say, oh, you're 32. If you was all that, you would have kids. So what? You have a master's degree or a PhD. So what? You have your own house, but you don't have a husband. You don't have a family, so something must be wrong with you. And now that you're 40, you should just be grabbing anything on the shelf, like compared it to like going to the store and it's 5 minutes to closing, and you can't look for what you want, so you grab anything just to have something.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Nina was talking about the last call.
Yeah, and that's how they try to dumb us down. And I don't care what socioeconomic status you're on. It's like they go for it, and you should just pick anything. And I saw some guy who would never have a chance with Nia Long talking about she hit the wall. She used to be all that. I was like, if that woman was 100, you still wouldn't have a chance. And these people that act like you have no accomplishment unless you have a marriage certificate. There are some women that's dumb as dirt that now they are supposed to be wise as I don't know what, don't have nothing, may not even have a high school diploma, but all of a sudden because you have a marriage certificate, you're valid. And I hate how women play into it, but more so when we play into it with each other and we judge each other on different little things, it's to the advantage of men because they take those things and play us against one another.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Thank you so much for your point of view. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great day. You look good.
Thank you, Mama. You know, I do try. I do try. Thank you. Listen, I really want to talk to some men right now, so I want to leave the phone lines open for people who have XY chromosomes who identify as male. So I would love for you to call in. I want to hear from men right now, and I want to hear how, in a man's point of view, does a man feel that he makes a woman's life better? I'm sorry for laughing. That just came out of nowhere. I didn't expect that to rise up. So listen, I want to hear from the men. I want to hear from a man's point of view. How do you feel that men make women's lives better? If there's a woman who can answer this question, I'd love to hear that as well. But I want to hear how. I want some examples of how the man makes the woman's life better here in 2020. I want to know, please. Phone lines are open. Oh, phone line is ringing. Let's see. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Jay. I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Your name is Jay?
Uh-huh.
All right, so Jay, how do men make women's lives better here in 2020? I'm curious.
In 2020, you might hear my son because my son is here with me. In 2020, I don't really think I can make anybody's life better. I feel like I need a complete person, and I'm a complete person, and we come together and we make each other happy. I don't really think that I can just come in somebody's life and just say, hey, well, let me make you whole. Let me find out what's missing. I don't feel like you should enter anything if you're not complete and ready to do what needs to be done from the start.
So then my question, can you think of any ways that women make men's lives better?
To support. That's it. That's all. Support. Like I'm the type of man. I don't always have to say you have something going. I don't always have to touch it or have my input on everything. Sometimes you just need somebody there who's just gonna just be there for support. Like, hey, I'm here with you. If you need to talk, you need anything, I'm here to support you. You don't always need somebody to physically do anything. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we both grown, like I'm 33 years old, and people got to understand. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. See, because I really want to know, because we've gone above 2 hours, and I want to jump off of here, so I want to keep the answers concise. When I asked you how men make women's lives better, you really didn't have an answer for that. But when I asked you how women make men's lives better, you did have an answer for that. And I think that is what we have to focus in on. What is it because so there's all of this pressure for women to be in these relationships, to get these relationships, to hold on to these relationships. And I want to know, how is it that men see themselves making women's lives better? Thank you for calling in.
I mean, and I'm sorry if I didn't answer correctly, or clearly.
No,
of course, as a man, I should be a great provider, great husband, and everything like that. But people also on both sides got to understand that everything's not going to be like this beautiful story all the time. You get married for richer or poor, you know what I'm saying, for better or worse. Sometimes you're going to have to jump some hurdles. You just can't leave at the first sign of trouble all the time.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in and giving your point of view.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, so I want to hear from another male person. How, in your male point of view, do you feel that you make women's lives better? How does a man coming into a woman's life make this woman's life better? Because there's this pressure for women to be in these relationships. So I want to know, what is it that we're pushing women towards getting from these relationships with men, that we're like, oh, well, you need to be in this relationship, but why? I want to know, what is it that men feel is enhancing a woman's life, making her life better, benefiting her life? I want to know here in 2020. So phone lines are open, and it's open. I want to hear from men. I want to hear. It's not ringing. There's no ring. This phone is not ringing. 323-488-3149. 323-488-3149. I wish I had the cricket sounds that could just chirp in the background. Oh, here we go. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name? What's happening? What's going on? We want to hear from you. And it's like the floor is open. No one? This asking me to ask good men to call in. Right now, I just want anyone with a penis, a person with a penis, to call in. Please. I'd love to hear how. The phone lines are open, 323-488-3149. There's no call coming. There's no call coming through. This is real life. How do you make women's life? There's no calls. Oh, here we go. with Tonya. What's your name? You're on the air live with Tonya. Ahora tú estás hablando con Tonya, por favor. ¿Qué necesitas hablar? You're on the air live.
Yes, my name is Larry.
This is Larry calling back again. Turn down your TV in the background or whatever that is. I'm hearing an echo.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So tell me, how do men make women's lives better? Because you're in a relationship. You called earlier. You're the one with the daughter, right?
No.
You're the one with the son?
No, I'm the first not called.
Oh, this is a new Larry. Okay, Larry. Sorry, there was a Larry that called in earlier. So go ahead. How do men make women's lives better?
Well, first of all, a man is the protector, so that's number one. We are protectors, and that's how we generally make you guys' life better.
You make guys' life better?
And the providers, and that's.
You said you make you guys' life better. Who are these guys that you're talking about?
Us men.
No, you said we make you guys' life better. So you're talking about making guys' life better.
Okay, I misspoke. We make women's lives better by being your protectors and the providers. I mean men, traditional men. I'm not talking about boys.
Okay, so tell us, what are you protecting us from?
We are protecting you guys from, you ladies, from all of the things that you guys really, you ladies, that's just something that's just a word, I'm sorry. We protect you guys from
you guys?
From yourselves. Because most of you, y'all kind of dumb, to be honest. I'm just keeping it real. Most of you guys, most of you ladies don't know how to make decisions. So you make dumb decisions, and then we have to come and clean them up. So we have to protect you ladies from yourself.
Okay, so you're saying that women are, because you said you guys are dumb, so is the guys who are dumb or the women who are dumb?
Both. Guys, but men, we are the protectors.
So you're protecting women from themselves because they make stupid decisions. And so what type of decisions, decisions are we talking about?
Absolutely.
What type of decisions? Give me an example.
For example, you could have a young lady, right? And she sees that this guy is no good for her, right? But somehow in her mind, she equates money and how people look to love. And next thing you know, she's got her panties down and she's got a baby.
Okay, so you're saying that another man needs to bust into the bedroom, use some zip ties to close her legs, punch him in the belly, knock him out the room, and protect her.
Yeah.
So this is what you're saying, that men need to patrol other men's homes and punch other men out of the way because he's the one she should be with.
No, what I'm saying is she needs a father.
So she needs her father to come bust into the bedroom?
She needs her father to explain to her that men are predators.
So men are predators?
Yes. Keep your panties on.
So don't have sex. Don't have sex at all.
Period. Until you have established that this person is worthy of your womb. It's real basic stuff.
So the woman's vagina is really there as the man's gift, so that she has to hold on to her vagina because it's a gift that he has to be worthy of. So whether or not she wants to experience pleasure or not is irrelevant, because her very vagina actually belongs to a man. So it's a man's vagina.
Right. Yes. If James Brown said for men's work.
James Brown was a woman beater, a drug addict, and he's dead.
Well, none of us have to do with lives.
I mean, he was a woman beater and a drug addict, and he's dead.
Correct. That doesn't mean that.
And so because some man with a perm got up on the stage and did some fancy footwork and made a song, now all of a sudden that's your relationship and life advice?
No, the words are true. I don't know anything about all of that, but I just know those words are very true.
So, okay, you're saying that women are dumb and they need to be protected from men, by men.
Yes.
Because men are predators.
Absolutely.
So why not just remove men then? Because if women need protection from men, then it sounds like if women need protection from men, from other men, it sounds like men are the problem.
Right. There you go. Now you get it.
So what you're saying is that there should be no more children born. That we should you're saying that we should euthanize, we should kill boy babies so that there are no men that grow. Well, this is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying you get married. But before you get married, you find out if this man is worthy of your vagina.
So what you're saying is on the wedding night, you should have sex for the first time with somebody, so that you can find out then whether or not they have a belly button penis, or they're a selfish lover, or they don't wash their balls right. So that's the time that you should find out on the wedding night that your man has a micro penis. He can't climax, or he climaxes too quick, or underneath his nuts smell like cheese. That's the night that you should find it out, your wedding night. Because her pleasure and what it is that she wants and needs as a woman doesn't matter. Because her whole body is his, that is for the taking on wedding night. Forget any pleasure that she hoped to receive. Because the main purpose of marriage is sex. So that you can have any type of, I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
No, you're not. So this is the deal, right? So regardless of if you were having sex on the wedding night or not, if you have a man in your life that respects you, and on your wedding night he does not know how to get down, then he should use his mouth.
And if he doesn't know how to use his mouth or never used his mouth, this is what I'm saying. She's supposed to get an annulment because he's a perfect. Listen, human beings are sexual creatures.
Why would he get an annulment? It's supposed to be about love, right?
You're the one who's talking about this is your theory. So if she's not, if he doesn't have what it takes to sexually satisfy her with equipment, technique, or effort, or proclivities, if he doesn't have what it takes, and she's now tied to this man with matrimony, then what does she do if she finds out that he doesn't have the equipment, the technique, the proclivities, or the method, the style, the preferences? Then what does she do now that she's tied to this man in matrimony? What does she do?
Because the whole thing, and what you're saying is an example of why you ladies are so far behind. Because you think of silly stuff like this right here about your wedding night and a man not being able to perform. But then at the same time you will preach, oh, where is the love? Which one is it?
So it has to be either or? Because you're saying which one is it? It's either or?
No, I'm saying which one is it? Is it about sex or is it about love?
It's about compatibility in many different aspects. And just because a person, are you going to talk over me? You're going to be that type of man?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just because a man knows how to take care of you emotionally, just because a man knows how to take care of you financially, doesn't mean that you two are a good match in terms of what it takes to be a romantic pair. Because in that romance is sex. And if the person is not on the same page as you, listen, I'm a life coach. I talk to people every single week. There are a lot of people out there who are mismatched in many different ways, and if you can't get it together in the bedroom, the whole relationship starts to fall apart. If you're not on the same page vibing in the bedroom, the relationship starts to fall apart, because this is not a friendship we're talking about. We're not connecting people to be best friends. We're connecting people to be in a monogamous, long-term, committed relationship, and sex is a part of that. And you know what? Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you. Are you married? They want to know if you're married.
Am I married? Of course.
So you're married. You're saying that your wife.
I've been married for 17 years.
How old are you?
I'm 50 years old.
So you're 50 years old. You've been married for 17 years. Is this a happy marriage?
Absolutely. Very happy.
And you're saying that you and your wife had sex for the first time wedding night.
No, I didn't say that. But in retrospect, that's what we should have did. And the reason why I say that is because during my 50 years, I've seen so many times where females get in a relationship with a person.
I'm sorry, you know what? Listen.
Yes.
Every nigga out there ain't husband material. Some niggas out there, all they got to offer is good dick. That's it. Ain't nobody trying to husband them. Ain't nobody trying to tie them down. But you're saying that a woman should deny herself all of this free penis floating around out there in order to what? Try to make him into something that he's not, waiting till some wedding night to find out about what their compatibility is. You say that you're married and that you've been married for 17 years. In this 17 years, I'm not going to, honey, I've had to put you on mute because I'm not going to talk over you. I want to ask you a question because we have very limited time because we're heading upon 2.5 hours now. I'm going to take you off of mute, but I need you to let me ask you this question and then we'll go forward. In these 17 years, have you cheated on your wife?
Have I cheated on my wife? No.
You see, he repeated the question, right?
Maybe I didn't hear the question properly. Could you repeat it again?
Right. You know what?
I didn't hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, everybody, listen, I'm so happy that your wife found you because everybody is not a good match. You know, you come on calling women guys, then referring to them as females, taking relationship advice from James Brown, a woman beater with a perm.
You called us niggas, so I mean, what's that?
I said every nigga ain't husband material. Okay, come off of the phone then. I said it, and I believe that every nigga ain't husband material. I didn't say every man. Listen, every nigga out there ain't husband material. I just got hung up on by a man who claims that he's in a happy marriage and had to repeat the question several times about whether or not he cheated on his wife. You're on the air live. What's your name?
Hi, this is Reese from the comments.
Yeah, how can we help you, Reese?
I'm sorry. I really apologize I'm breathing heavy right now because I'm working out and I'm listening. And it sounds like a mess. The black men, I'm just like, it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. So
What's embarrassing? I want
I
to
just,
know.
just, I don't know. It just seems like they didn't have good role models in their life. So they're very negative towards women, and it's sad.
Okay. Well, listen, we had a man come on who said that, who was referring to women as guys, then referred to us as females, said women were dumb and needed protection from men, from other men. And it's just a circular cycle of toxicity. He claims that he's in a happy marriage. But then if I asked his wife what her level of mental health in this marriage is, I wonder what she would say. Now you come on and you say that it's embarrassing. I want to know, what is embarrassing? These are your brothers. I want to hear. What is embarrassing?
I just expect more. Like I expect, it's 2020, so it's like there's so much knowledge out there. There's so much learning. I think it's hearing from the other perspective better than maybe, because it's probably a bunch of men listening to other men. So maybe if they start listening to women and start actually listening to their perspective and where they're coming from, then you'll have a better understanding of how to treat women and how to, be a gentleman and how to hopefully get in a healthy relationship. But you got to start listening to other people, or other men that are just as toxic.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask you a question then. How do men benefit women's lives? What is the benefit that men bring into women's lives?
They could potentially benefit them in a lot of ways. Like, it's 2020 now, so to be honest, as a man, you should be cooking, cleaning, doing everything. So you should be maintaining the household, but you should also be able to be there for your spouse or partner, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Like, all those connections are important to build before even like beginning a marriage or a relationship.
Okay, so my question then is, because there are a lot of people who are constantly attempting to say that women need to be in relationships, push them towards relationships, et cetera, and I'm trying to figure out why. So what is that reason? Is it because the women need help cooking and cleaning? Is that what the benefit of being with a man is, so that he can assist with the cooking and the cleaning?
Oh no, that's just like an added bonus to just have a partner that, doesn't allow the partner to do everything, but also can be there, take care of the household, and also take care of the kids, and take care of, and be there for their spouse, like, and build a mental connection to where y'all can have like open-minded conversations, be there emotionally for emotional support, and, a spiritual connection as well, like, in all of those aspects.
Okay, so then my follow-up question is, I want to know, in terms of male nature, like if I had to sit here and list, in terms of women's nature, what are the things that a woman is going to bring into a relationship that will benefit the man? In terms of male nature, what is it that men bring, men specifically, that you just won't find anywhere else? What is it that men, in terms of male nature, bring into a relationship with a woman that benefits her?
In particular, I would probably say, because women bring in like a nurturing aspect, men bring in a kind of masculine aspect into it, to where, you're the protector of the home. So
okay,
you're able to protect your partner and protect your children.
From whom?
If something happens.
From who? Happened by whom?
In that aspect, in this world, anything can happen, as we're seeing the protesting, as we're seeing the police violence.
Right, but from whom? Who are the perpetrators that men must protect women from? Who are these people perpetrating this stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can say it to the men too. I mean, yeah.
And there we have it. There we have it.
I would agree.
There we have it. All right. So thank you so much. We appreciate you calling in. There are a few more people that want to get some last calls in before we jump off. Thank you, Reese.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice night.
All right, get back to your workout. We want to see those guns one day.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. All right. So the phone lines are open. The phone lines are open. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name? I need you to make sure that your computer is turned down when I come back to you so that you are ready to go right on the air. So, so there are men who are calling in. I want to know. Male nature, what is it that in terms of male nature men bring into a relationship that women find only from men? And what we're hearing is protection, but that protection is from other men. So we're going to take this call. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
My name is B. You can call me B.
Okay, so hi B. What is the answer to the question?
All right, so I was hearing what you're saying, so I'm gonna just give a straight, clean-cut answer. The thing that a man's nature is supposed to bring to a woman in order for the relationship to stay afloat is only supposed to be the provider and the protector, and to provide the actions within the relationship. That's my answer.
Elaborate.
I don't know if that's good enough for you, but
no, elaborate.
I would say that's my answer.
Elaborate so that we
All
can
right,
understand
so
what you mean.
we already get down the financial. I think what we focus on now, because we live in a society with finances, right? So the man is supposed to have his finances together. He is not supposed to lean on a woman for finances. Now, it could be in a place where a woman makes more than a man, but more specifically, a man has to hold down his post, I would say, right? So I'm gonna say this: the man usually is supposed to be the provider. That's his role. That's what he's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? As I see it, and I could be wrong, in our society, specifically with our community. Now, if you say that I'm wrong, that's okay. But it has been flipped. It has been reversed so that the woman has more of an opportunity to make more than a man, more specifically in the Black community. Now, I'm not saying this is an excuse, but I see that this happens a lot of the time, and they flipped this for the last 30 to 40 years. But I don't know. If I did answer your question, if you want me to elaborate any more, please let me know.
Yes, please, because you said men come in, they need to be the providers, but when you started explaining that, you started talking about women earning more. So I want you to elaborate on the 3 points that you brought up. You said providing, protecting, and you said holding down the fort, was it? I believe. I'm not sure. I want you to elaborate on your 3 points.
All right. I'm gonna try because I have a tendency to bring up a lot. So when I say provider, I mean in a way where a woman feels secure, where she doesn't have to feel like she has to go out of her way to do the job that a man is supposed to. Now, what I would say to that is that a man can have the muscle, or a man can have the means to protect his woman and make sure his woman is okay, to make sure his woman is on the right track, and she doesn't have to worry about him doing something happening to her because she's protected by a man. That could be the protection. The provider part, it could be the finances. It could also be the little things done around the house. The man is supposed to build. The man is supposed to make sure everything's stable, everything is okay. The woman is supposed to be his backbone, in which she is supposed to be the nurturer, like the other guy said, but he didn't explain it as well as I could. And it's about security. That's what I believe in, and that's what I would say about the points. Now, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But this is what I see, and I'm sorry to say it, just to get off track right now. It's just a lot of bickering and complaining, especially when it comes to feminist rhetoric that we have in this society right now. So it irritates me. But again, there's men in this society that are not being raised to be men. They're raised to be children with dicks. So with that being said, they don't know how to gravitate to a woman. But at the same time, women can be very disrespectful and very masculine towards men, in which they feel pushed away. So that's how I see it.
Okay, I feel like we
Is that cool?
have started talking about a whole lot of different things. Now you're talking about feminist rhetoric. It sounds like there's some things hidden in your point of view that I don't know. It sounds like there's some issues that are hidden in your point of view against women speaking up, letting their needs be known,
No, no.
finding their own independence. Like, what do you consider to be feminist rhetoric? Now, then you start calling women masculine and all of this other stuff. So,
Nah.
uh-huh.
All right, so let me explain. Tanya. I'm not saying a woman can't speak her mind or a woman can't say what she has to say, right? But the problem in this society that I usually see is that it'll come from a place of emotional hurt and situations they don't got nothing to do with. I've seen women that sit up there and say that men ain't shit and men ain't this and men ain't that. They don't have a good reason to say all that. And then because of the fact of the matter, we have to be real about it. Women come from an emotional standpoint. I'm not saying women are dumb. Women come from an emotional standpoint. That's just how it is. So when you see in a society with women, you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not attacking women. Women are beautiful. Women know when a woman is in her same mind, she knows exactly how she is. And I'm not saying that a woman is not worthy. But now I'm saying that in this society, when I say the feminist rhetoric, nowadays you just have women that think they could just disrespect a man because it's cool. We see this all the time. And they say broke niggas, they'll say this, they'll say that, oh, he's not good enough and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't like him because blah, blah, blah. And you don't have a good reason to. That's why I say that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me ask you this question. When a woman says that a man ain't shit, what do you think she means by that?
Well, when she says that a man ain't shit, again, how I see it, she doesn't have a good reason to say if a man ain't shit that doesn't come from a personal situation or what she sees on media.
What do you think she's referring to? What do you think she's referring to?
Her personal situations about the men she deal with usually, because she doesn't have it. If you this is just like throwing out a blank statement. If I say you, Tonya, I sit up there and I say to you, Tonya, I say, yo,
baby, I've had to put you on mute, right? Because because time is limited, life is so short. I want to get into the heart of the matter. I'm going to take you off mute, but I need you to hear the question and I need you to answer for me, okay?
Okay.
All right. So you say that, so let's talk about it. What is a man who is shit? What is he? What's a man who is shit?
Which we define who is shit, right?
Yeah. What is a man who is shit? Who is the shit? What is that? Just describe that type of man.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound dumb. Are we saying in a positive or in a negative manner?
In a positive manner. So if there are women who are saying that some men ain't shit, then what is a man who is shit? Or is the shit?
A man who has his priorities, let me explain. So a man that has his priorities together, he rolls like a noble. He's not a degenerate. He has his mind on track. He goes to school. He has a career. Even if he's working in a regular 9-to-5 job or in a conglomerate where he's working on himself, a man that's a high value. And I don't mean the high value as in like, oh, he has to make 100K. But the man is handling his shit.
Okay.
If the man knows exactly what he's doing.
Okay. So you have male friends, you have male family members. The men that you know in your own personal life, what percentage would you say are the men that fit that criteria of being the shit? Having his priorities together, knowing where he's going, holding the mantle of manhood, have his finances together, career on track. Of the men in your family and the men that you know, what percentage would you say are men that fit that bill?
All right, okay. I'll be honest. When it comes to friends, I don't have a lot of friends, and when it comes to my family members, all the men in my family, except for about maybe one or two, I could say the dudes that handle their shit. Even my grandfather, he owned his own business. You understand what I'm saying? And he was a war vet. So I can't go by the percentage.
Listen. I think there's a reason why you don't have many male friends. I think part of the reason that I think there's a reason why you don't have many male friends. What are the reasons that you don't have many male friends, Beef?
Nah, I mean, that's an opinion, but like I said, I don't have many friends in general. I'm dolo.
You said it. You said it. You said, I don't have many friends. That includes men, because when I asked you about men, you said you do not have many friends. What is the reason that you do not have many male friends? This is not an insult. I'm repeating your words.
I keep a small circle.
Why is
if
that?
you want to honestly know the answer, I have a small circle.
Why?
That's why. But the dudes that I'm around, they about shit. So that's what I'm saying. When you say percentage, I can't really answer that.
So then let me help you out. Let me help you out. Part of the reason that you do not have a large circle of male friends is because a lot of the men out there ain't shit. And even you as a man knows that. So you don't let these people get close to you. Come on.
That's an opinion.
No,
that's an opinion, my dear.
It's not an opinion. Because if they was really all of that, then they would be in your inner circle. If they were people that were trustworthy, if they were people that were upstanding, that were handling their business, because you said in your family, the men are the shit. But when you go out there into the world and you start coming into contact with these men, then all of a sudden, you don't want them in your inner circle. And there's a reason why. Because there's a lot of people out there.
Listen, that's not the reason why, though.
I asked you to explain your reason, and you refused.
Yeah.
So I'm helping you out.
I did explain it. You don't like the answer. You didn't like the answer, Tonya. It's much respect. And I say I keep a small circle in general.
I had to put you on mute. Again. Listen, your balls are bigger than mine. I do not have balls, okay? This doesn't need to be a screaming contest. I don't need you being loud with me on the phone, okay? There's a reason why you don't associate with a lot of men. There's a reason why. There's a reason why you don't have them in your inner circle. There's a reason why you don't have them close to you. There's a reason why. And I think we're being disingenuous if we're going to say that the average man out there is the shit. We're being disingenuous if we're going to say that the man on average. Can you tell me now, honestly on the phone, that the average man out there is the shit? That he has his act together, that he's ready to be husband and father, that he has his financial situation together, that he's educated. Can we say that the average man out there is doing that?
No, they're not.
All right then. So when you see women sitting around saying that men ain't shit, who do you think they're talking about? They're talking about the average man, who by your own definition does not stand up to that.
But you're missing, but this is a problem, Tonya, and I'm gonna go after this because I don't want to be a hog. So the thing about it is you tend to forget, Tonya, and I'm just trying to make sure you understand it. I'm not disregarding what women say when they say, dude, the men ain't shit and this, that, and third. I'm not disregarding that. But again, you have to understand that certain women use that as a preference to sit here and say that because of personal situation that doesn't advocate for the other dudes that they could have been going for, or the fact of the matter, they could have been just saying that because by the media standards, they've been hearing that over and over and over again because it's popular and trendy to say that, they say that. So there's a lot of different factors you could say that, but there's a lot of things we could go off just off those 2 points and what you're saying. I'm not disregarding what you're saying.
You know, as a matter of fact, I think you have to look at the definition of disregard, because you did disregard their feelings, saying that they're saying that based on nothing, that they have no reason to say it. Rewind the tape and listen again if you need to. You said that the women had no reason to say that. And then now we discover that even you yourself don't have a bunch of the average men in your circle. Even you yourself.
All right, well, Tonya, I'm a peace out. I respect your opinion. I think we're going to have to agree to disagree. I just don't think you see it from my point, but respect, though. I'm gonna be out though, but I love your show.
There's no reason for you to run from me.
You have a good day, because I gotta go.
Oh, you running now?
I gotta go.
Go ahead, run then, run.
I got you. But so you have a good day, my dear.
Go ahead and run.
Hey.
What's beef? Beef is when I see you. Guaranteed to be the I see you. Come on. Listen, you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Chris.
Hi, Chris. So we talking. Add your stank on the conversation. Go ahead.
Oh well. Okay. I get a lot of flack for the way I view the male mind here in America now. And just kind of piggybacking off of what the gentleman, I think his name is Beef, he goes by Beef, not trying to be disrespectful to him at all, but I have to admit that there seems to be there's this mass opinion of men being something more than what we really are. And yes, I am a man, I'm a straight male, and I kind of have to, I agree with you on a lot of points. There's a point where, what was his name? Jill Scott. Jill Scott did a performance a while back where she was filleting a microphone. And a lot of people had a lot to say about that. What a lot of people tend to focus on is the action. Didn't pay a whole lot of attention to what was said afterwards. And I can't quote directly what it was, but the gist of what she was saying was that she wants to be able to do that. She wants to be able to give that to someone without having to bring herself down to be able to do so. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of us men today, we are not of the level to where a woman can rise to where we are, to where she is. You know, we don't have that. Forgive me, I'm tripping over my words here, but we don't have that status within the community to where we are worthy of what a woman can provide. And it's not in any way saying that, it's not in any way of women saying that men are less than. It's more of a motivation. I take it as a motivation for men to step up and become what women need, to become what women want. And I could be off base on that, but that's been my take on it.
So you feel that that men are not in a position for women to rise to. So you feel men have to rise to the level that women are at. What level are we talking about? Emotional, psychological, financial? What are we talking about?
All of the above. All of the above. Financially, there are just men that I've met who get to a point where they pull the whole the gold digger card, where they want to tell a woman that she's only interested in money, she's chasing the bag, or whatever the people say nowadays. It's a farce. It's not true. The simple fact is, a man needs to be able to financially meet a woman, and in many cases exceed her, to be the man that she needs.
So why do you
or
think?
even
So
just
why do
to
you
be
think
the
it
man
is?
that she wants.
Why do you think it is that there are men, far too many men that are lacking? Why do you feel that is?
Complacency.
On the part of whom?
And, you know, I do feel that a lot of people are going to want to crucify me in the comments for saying this, but it's complacency.
Who do you think is complacent?
And so a lot of people get to a point where we've struggled in this country. Just being honest about it, you know, nobody's denying that we've struggled in this country as African Americans, and it's gotten to a point where we are wanting to enjoy life. We're wanting to stop the struggle, and we're just wanting to enjoy life. And the sad part about it is that a lot of men expect for women to lower the expectation and just accept them for where they are instead of rising to the expectations.
Okay.
And I don't feel that that's right to women.
Okay.
It's not right to anyone.
All right. So you feel that men have become complacent and want women to lower their standards, and that's part of the reason that they then try to mock them for saying, "Oh, you've hit the wall, so now you're going to have to lower your standards and accept a person like me."
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah, I strongly feel that.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate you calling in and giving your point of view. Make sure that you're on the mailing list. Everybody who's on here, go ahead and thumbs up the video because we've gone a little bit longer than we expected to. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, Chris.
You're welcome.
All right. So, phone lines have been closed. Go ahead and thumbs up this video. Listen, this is my book of affirmations, Self-Love. This is an amazing workbook. You can find it on Amazon. It's available right now. If you go to Amazon and you search for Tonya TKO, you'll come across the book. If you go to my website, TonyaTko.com, there are a few different things that you could do on my website. So for the people who are on the platinum level membership, if you go to my website, TonyaTko.com, click on support, you're able to support the show. There's a section there where you can give a one-time contribution. You can contribute monthly. You can buy my book and contribute. You can buy a tarot reading from me. You can get life coaching or hypnotherapy from me. And all of that is on the webpage itself. You can also send cash apps right now. And I feel like the men really stepped up today in terms of calling in. We got a lot more male callers than we typically do. So I want to thank all of the male callers who called in, even the one who ran from me. Even the one who ran for me. Special thank you to Dr. Nina for calling in. Thank you to everybody who called in and gave their point of view because it's not easy. I've called into other people's shows before. I know what it's like. Your heart is beating before the phone picks up and then you want to say the right thing, but then you're nervous and all this other stuff. So I appreciate everybody who's called in and give their point of view because it's not an easy thing to do. I sit here and I can talk for hours because I've been trained to do this, but not everybody is a broadcaster. We're just regular people who want to give our point of view about things that affect us in real life. So I appreciate you all opening your hearts and minds and taking the time out to make the show what it is. The show would be just me here talking if it wasn't for you all. And so for people who want to rewrite their subconscious programming, I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. On my website, I have hypnotherapeutic MP3s to help you learn how to forgive, to help you release stress, to help you relax. And on Amazon, there's this book, which you write the affirmations, and these affirmations rewire your subconscious programming. It makes you make more money, helps you attract the right relationships into your life. It helps you soar and become more abundant. So this is the book of affirmations, Self-Love. It's available, and these are the ways that you can support. As you see, I do not have Super Chat on my channel because I know that people who give to Super Chat expect for that money to come to the creator. So I give you that opportunity on my website because, as you know, YouTube takes a great portion of the super chat. So if you send $100, YouTube takes 45 and the creator gets 55. So it's like, I know that that's not how people want their money to go. So get the book, support the channel, support the page. The Cash App is $TonyaTKO. And we have a Steve who has sent $10 talking about for you looking so good today. Hey, I'll take that, I'll take that because, I'll take that. Why not? Thank you. Thank you. So listen, I appreciate you all. We did broadcast for 3 hours. I don't like broadcasting for this long because it's hard to download the videos because once it goes past a certain length, YouTube creates barriers for you to be able to download the videos. But I went longer because there were things that we needed to talk about. Make sure that you're on the mailing list. If you go to TonyaTKO.com and you click on subscribe, you can join the mailing list so that you can get a notification for when I am going live, for when special offers are offered, etc., etc. So give a special thank you to my mods. Thank you to Miss Pink Secrets and to Dipped in Indigo. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you everybody who comes out. If you start saying goodbye right now, I'll say goodbye to you as you say goodbye. I'll say goodbye to about the first 10 people. All right, so thank you all for coming out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, and you all have a very good evening. I appreciate you coming out. Thumbs up the video on your way. Make sure that you leave a comment below. Okay, so Nadia, thank you for coming through. And Nikita, Designs by Regina, thank you. Tim, thank you. Jerry, thank you. Alyssa, thank you. Miss Pinky, thank you. Sage, thank you. Dip, Kai, thank you all for coming through. And I will see you all in the next video. Make sure that you're on the mailing list. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Peace. Oh, you know what? I forgot to say, go out there and love one another. But most importantly, what? Love yourself. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. We heard a lot of different ideas today. We heard a lot of ideas about what it takes to make a relationship work, what it takes to be a good man, what men bring, what does hitting the wall mean. And everybody's not a good match for everyone. And I think what ends up happening is what a woman wants is often discounted. Men think that this is their world, and it's like we as women have to fall into these pockets where we have to pretend like it is a man's world because of his ego and his inability to really see things as it truly is. You know what I mean? Women carry life in our wombs. This is literally a woman's world. And we have these people running rampant on the globe who, I don't know. I don't know what to say about what we got going on, about these people. They think that they run things. They think that, listen, they think that this is their world. They think that we have to bend to their will and their whim, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. There are a lot of men who say that women need men to be their protectors, but the thing that they say women need protection from is other men. So instead of getting to the root of the issue and really creating differences in the men that are being raised, we attempt to shame and mock women into relationships that may not work for them. Every woman needs something different, and I think that a lot of women and what they need is discounted, into not being that important. And listen, get what you need in a partner. He's out there. He's out there, or she's out there, however you want to do it. Because remember that lady that called in? Listen, she got pulled over to the other side. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.